Cool. We're doing this, folks. It's happening. Love it. I'm going to give it a second because this was an unannounced stream. We're just going to let people trickle in. For those of you who are joining or maybe watching this after the fact, this stream is going to be about a video that Jeremy Dewitte made. Apparently, he talked about me a bunch in it. I haven't seen it. I have not watched it. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to be watching it, reacting to it, addressing some things that have been brought to my attention, but again, I don't know about. So we're doing the little Jeremy Dewitte clap back today. Let me adjust a couple things real quick. Slide that on over. There we go. How's everyone doing? How are we doing? Are we having a good time? Oh, things to tell you guys about. I have a button here. So I've been doing these streams. Well, not streams. I've been doing these recordings about First Amendment auditors, which I do want to do streams about because the format of what I'm doing is basically I'm doing it as if it is a live stream and then doing minor editing afterwards to cut out all the boring bits. But a lot of people have complained that I interrupt too much, which is kind of the point because I'm reacting and responding to what's happening in these videos of First Amendment auditors. If you want to see the full uninterrupted video, I encourage you to watch the original video. The point of watching my content is for the content I provide. But I hear you. I do. So I bought this button. If it's not worth me really stopping the video just yet to address something that has been said that is inaccurate, I get to hit this. And you can't really tell in the lighting, but this lights up. It's really great. Super excited to have it. It's going to be fun. So every time Jeremy says something that is not true, that's right. One more time. I love it. It's going to get very annoying, I'm sure, by the end of it. So, why do I have a golden butt plug in the middle shelf on the left? Are you talking about these? These are stamps. They're stamps. This one has the received time and date stamp. It's for criminal stuff. They're old school. I saved them from being thrown out because obviously we don't use these anymore. But I wanted them. And I have them. I assume that's what you're talking about. But just waiting on people to gather in. Then we're going to, the donut operator getting in the Jeremy Dr. Phil bandwagon. He wasted plenty of time. He wasted so much time getting in on it. Now, he knew about it. This is such a rabbit hole. Obviously, I'm very familiar with the rabbit hole that is Jeremy Dewitte because I am heavily involved in it more than I probably should be. I don't think Donut wanted to get dragged into that because there's so much. And he acknowledged that during the live stream. So I assume he's been, keeping an eye on it. Just hasn't made any content on it. But, yeah. Let's see. Let me, oh, yeah. So the, the Dr. Phil episode. It aired. Part 1 aired. That's not the part I was in. I'm in part 2 on Monday. It didn't go so well for Jeremy. Jeremy made a lot of claims like, oh, yeah, Dr. Phil loved me. No. Part 2, when the part where I was on stage was when Dr. Phil was losing it on him. So it only gets worse from here. Hey, KG, good evening to you, and thank you for your donation. But what state was I an officer in, Tom? I was mostly in Washington State. I did military police stuff here. I did some in Germany. That makes up the majority of what I've done. Germany doesn't really count as United States police work, so we went off federal law on the base, and then off the base, I have done some things with the assistance of the local Germans because I don't have to worry really about what law am I thinking of that stops soldiers from being police in the United States. Posse comitatus. I don't have to worry about that in Germany because that's America, right? We just have to have approval from the German police, which they're, in my experience, they're very good at their jobs, but kind of lazy. So if they could have us take a case, they would let us do it. But we have 50 plus people So do we want to start this video? Because I kind of want to start this video. I have not seen it, but everyone's been telling me that I should. So let's do it. Oh, by the way, let me know if there are audio issues. I'll keep that in mind. Mean Sarton? Thank you so much. Have I thought about suing him for libel defamation? I have. I really, really have. The problem is doing so would likely reveal my actual identity, my address, my name, my whole bunch of things I really don't want Jeremy to have. That's really what stopped me from doing it with when they were saying that I got kicked off stage, which never happened. That is absolutely a lie, and I could prove that. And maybe I could prove damages. That's really the other thing that's stopping me, is what are actually the damages. It would be emotional distress from having to deal with all the comments on YouTube, but it would be easy to prove that I deal with that kind of stuff all the time. I'm not going after anyone specific, so it would be actually winning anything out of it, making it worth the time to do it, would be very difficult, and I really don't want him to have my information. There are people who have stolen my videos, and usually I'm totally like, if you want my videos, ask me, I'll probably give it to you. There was one having to do with some military stuff that someone stole. It no longer exists on my channel because they used it to try to get me kicked out of the Army, actually. They still have it up, and if I want to challenge it, I have to reveal my actual information, which they could then possibly get, and they've already proven that they're out to get me something fierce. So legally, it makes it very difficult, and I know that's a very long rant. I have considered it, yes. Will I go through with it? Well, we'll see after this video, because apparently there are a lot of lies. Anyway, let's get into it. We're gonna mute that because I don't know if that music is copywritten or not. Once he starts talking. Sorry, I'm drinking water. I'm real thirsty today, and there are ice cubes in it, so bear with me. Nope, still going. We're gonna skip forward. That was a long, a very long intro. All right.
The episode that was recorded while I was in California for those 2 days.
Already. I don't know if he was in California for 2 days, but he was out of Florida, I believe, for 5. Which I believe it was 5, which is enough to trigger concerns about him not letting the state know, or his local police department know, that as a registered sex offender, he had to let them know. That got him in a lot of trouble, actually. So was he in California for only 2? I can't confirm that, but he seems to be talking in a way that makes it seem like he was out of state for a shorter time than he was. That might not deserve the button, but I really wanted to hit the button.
Anyhow, so just saying what's going on, and wanted to talk to you about some of the things that are coming up. Like one of the things in the comments that keep coming up.
Tell us, Jeremy.
Talking about certain things.
Say your words. Use them.
The Dr. Phil show.
What?
And
I must
asking
know.
Questions like.
By the way,
you
guys,
keep asking questions to me.
I'm gonna be saying things over him. I'm gonna be cutting back and forth to keep him from filing a copyright strike against me. If I use his footage, it has to be used in a transitive nature. It has to have a content change based on what I add to it. Otherwise, he can file a strike against me. I don't really want him to do that because I'd rather avoid that mess. So yes, I will be doing some talking. I will be cutting to my face, to his face, whatever. Someone's going to call me out on it. I'm letting you know right now. I'm going to write down the timestamp, so next time someone calls me out on it, I can go, ha ha ha. Yeah.
Why did Blue Bacon lie to us that he was there?
I never lied about being there. I never said I was not there. I only specifically stated that I had never been kicked off the stage. Whenever someone says, was there a Dr. Phil episode? Were you there? I say, wouldn't it be crazy if there was? That's not me saying it wasn't. I signed a non-disclosure agreement, which I assume Jeremy also signed. So I don't know why he gets to talk about it and I don't. I assume he really wasn't supposed to, but here we are. So he, it would appear, made some claims to whoever's writing or running the Jeremy Dewitte case website, which we think is Jennifer. He allegedly made some claims. They put out information saying things that were false. And now he's running this like, oh, well, Blue Bacon's obviously a liar. No. I signed an NDA. I could not confirm. I could not deny the episode. So I deflected. Something that Jeremy is very good at doing. He does that all the time. We've seen him deflect when he was asked if he's a police officer. No, I'm a state certified agent. That's not a no. That's not a no. We see him deflect in the interviews and interrogation of police where they say, were you with the Army? What did you do overseas? And he goes, well, I didn't work with, that contractor. He never says that he was a contractor. He implies that he was one by saying that he wasn't with a specific contractor company. Jeremy is the king of deflection. He knows I was only deflecting. He is doing this to discredit me. We're getting an extra one for that. And Peb Metz, thank you so much for your donation. He says, or she, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to assume your gender. It amazes me with a straight face Jeremy denies what everyone can clearly see on the videos. I am even more amazed that his attorney even allowed him to go on Dr. Phil. I know. So I don't think Amir really had much say in it. I assume Amir's like, hey, we really don't want to do that. And then Jeremy went, but I want to. Just not in that voice. It's not his voice. No, Amir was smart. Amir's not an idiot. Amir, from what I understand, is a good attorney. He's making a lot of really good calls. He's presenting, given the circumstances, a very good defense. And it would appear that he stepped in and said, we cannot talk about certain topics. This will not be addressed. We won't talk about anything that Jeremy is not currently being charged for. We won't discuss his claims of military service. I specifically had to sign a thing that said I would not talk about Jeremy's military service or claims thereof, right? Which is a pretty good indicator that those claims are a lie. Am I right? So his lawyer did what he could to sort of protect Jeremy. It would appear that he also coached Jeremy in how to respond to the questions, which is very common when it comes to a legal defense. Your legal defense attorney is going to coach you in how to respond. I have testified in court as a subject matter expert and lead investigators on various cases. It's not that I was coached, but I wasn't coached in what answer to give. I was coached in the best way to respond to protect myself from further questions. You keep it short. You don't elaborate. If you need more time, you take a sip of water. You ask them to repeat the question. I've been coached in that way. Now, Jeremy, I assume, has been coached much more on here's what you actually should say as long as it's not a lie. This isn't a court of law, so you could lie if you want, but be prepared for Dr. Phil to call you out. And it doesn't matter. I'm ranting about this because it's upsetting that he would just straight up lie about this after promoting a lie and putting me in a situation he knew that I could not, defend myself in. That's a really shady move. And if you're defending Jeremy, that move right there should maybe make you think a little bit, because that was intentional. That's him playing a game that makes him the bad guy. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going anyway. Tom Ski from One Real Officer to Another. Love the content. Keep the good work. Thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate it. This channel is only just beginning, so let's keep watching this video.
On the show, was he really there? And, at first I didn't answer those questions because it's not my place to out somebody.
You didn't answer them because you had an NDA as well. I assume. I never saw his NDA. I only assume he also had one. No, you didn't answer them because you didn't think you could, because you messed up. And you told someone who runs a website that details your every move. Or maybe it was intentional. And then he went, oh, shoot, I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. But he's lying to you again.
Or tell you where they were or not. So we just kind of ignored those questions. But as you know now, since he decided to tell the truth.
90 days were up. My stipulation, my NDA, was that after 90 days, I can talk about it. So you get another one of those, Jeremy. I should have kept a tally. We're probably at like 4 right now. I don't know. That's a lot for the first 2 minutes and 36 seconds of your video. Wow. Already, I'm guessing it's 4. I actually wasn't keeping track. I feel like I hit it at least 4 times. And Dreamer, yes, the show asked me to be in their premiere in the comments section for the Monday one as well. They're like, hey, you're going to be there? Great. We're super excited. And that's not Dr. Phil asking, by the way. In those live whatever of the videos that are released with the live chat, when it says Dr. Phil is the person commenting, that's his social media manager. That's not him, as far as I know. By the way, in case anyone's confused about that, I'm a they. Yes. The title of this video sounds so wrong. I'm sorry. I thought it would be funny. So we're going to keep watching, but that's another thing. Like, Jeremy knows. Jeremy knows why I couldn't talk about it. 90 days were up, so I talked about it. Well, they released the promo, which meant that I could confirm its existence. I didn't talk about it until 90 days. I didn't do my stream until 90 days after. Sean Pellegrino, thank you so much. What is that? On set? Yes, it says that a sticker. Oh my God, I love it. Anyway, you know I'm easily distracted.
Finally, which is a little weird.
It's not weird. You're going to get another one of those. We've already explained it, so we're going to keep going.
But I can't tell him what to do, obviously. As you know now, since he put it out on the YouTube channel, that he was lying to all of you guys.
We're going to do this again. Wasn't lying, just literally couldn't talk about it, so I deflected.
In the beginning, which I'm a little confused about. But
if he's confused, it's because he's dumb. He knows why. He's either playing dumb or he is dumb.
I'm sure he'll use some excuse to explain it away.
It's not an excuse, it's the truth.
Yeah, so he was there, and Dr. Phil brought him onto the stage. And then a few seconds after his intro video, he asked him one question.
That's not true. He asked me 3, I think. So you're getting another one of those. My intro video, by the way, had a little bit of the musical. The producers were very excited that I gave them permission to use that. Let me tell you, because I don't know what he's going to say. I'm going to tell you what happened. They had an intro video where I say things like, I think Jeremy Dewitte is a compulsive liar and a narcissist. You're going to see that. It's real intense. They made it look real intense, which I'm okay with. Jay Pavilion, thank you so much. It's incredible. And I know you can't afford that. You stop that. Maybe you can. I don't know. Anyway, let me go on. So Dr. Phil goes, all right, so, hey, Blue Bacon, I think he called me by my name, but, you get to find out what my name is. Yay. He goes, so what do you do for a living? And I went, I'm a private investigator. That is what I do for work. He goes, oh, what do you... So maybe he asked me like 4 questions. He goes, what do you do as a private investigator? I said, well, I'm given information, or I take information, and I organize it into something coherent, and I go out and I fill in the gaps of what I don't have with my own investigations, etc. Something like that. I'm sure I said it much less eloquently than that, because I didn't expect that question. I expect him to be like, so why is your channel involved in this? Which he did ask. So that was the 3rd question. He goes, how did you get involved with this Jeremy Dewitte thing? I went, well, I saw a video on the internet. I thought it was funny. I saw a second video, realized that this wasn't just a one-time thing. And I saw that a lot of people were talking about it. So I decided to make a video sort of explaining some of the legal stuff that wasn't being addressed, and it exploded. And that's where we are now. Sam, thank you so much for your donation. Shauna, thank you so much. That's an amazing little sticker. I've never seen that one. That's so great. Anyway, so that was the 3rd question. The 4th question is, what do you think about this uniform? Because the introduction for me was, now to talk about someone, or to bring in someone who actually has earned this military medal, is, someone who's whatever, been active on the internet. I don't remember what he said, but he introduced me by saying like, look, there's a military medal. We're bringing on someone who has earned that one himself. Everyone in the military has that medal, by the way. Anyone who's qualified with a weapon, which is everyone, I believe. Unless, like, cooks don't qualify with M4s in basic. I don't know. So, which was a really weird way of introducing me, because I was not allowed. I was specifically prohibited from bringing up anything military related with Jeremy Dewitte. So I went out there and was just like, what do you expect from me? Okay. So he asked me, what do you think about the uniform? And I said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, Dr. Phil, everything on that uniform is legal. And Amir's over there like, ha-ha. Yeah, and Jeremy's just like, I don't remember what face he made. I remember very clearly Amir was just like, mm-hmm. And Dr. Phil was just like, oh. I'm like, but it's the totality of the circumstance that makes it illegal. because it doesn't matter if the individual pieces are actual law enforcement insignia. It's whether or not a reasonable person would believe that that entire uniform belongs to a police officer. And then I went into basically a scenario like if I was driving down the road, you know, I saw this guy 40 feet away and he wouldn't identify himself whether or not he was a police officer, I'm going to assume he is. Because failure to obey his what I would assume are lawful instructions would mean criminal charges against me. And that is why it's impersonation, because I reasonably believe he's a police officer and he's engaging in actions that a police officer would have the lawful authority to engage in that a civilian would not. So I went into some spiel about that, and that was basically it. Now, once again, I assumed that I was there in case Jeremy didn't want to talk, but Jeremy was very talkative. He answered the questions. It was all great stuff, but I believe those were the 4 questions I was asked. And Jeremy seems to think that I was on his side because of that. No, I detailed correctly what I've always said, which is the individual piece is not illegal. He can wear that, you know, I assume he can wear the Ohio, you know, thing, the flying wheel. I don't know if that's copyright or whatever. His LA badge is not a police symbol in LA. Now that might be a copyright violation as well, because it does have the seal of Los Angeles on it. So copyright law, sure, he might be violating, but that's not something I'm going to deal with or know too much about. As far as having the military medal, yeah, he can wear it and it's not stolen valor because no one's going to see that one medal and assume that he is a soldier. All the other stuff, like it's probably okay. But it's the totality of it all. And that's what I've said the entire time. So, no, I wasn't asked 3 questions. I was asked 4. Now, it's a small distinction, but it means he earns one of these. Let's see how he finishes this, because I assume he's going to say I was kicked off stage.
Or 2 questions about, you know, how long he had been doing private investigating. And after he answered that, Dr. Phil immediately went to a commercial, and verbatim exact words were, "Get these 2 off my stage." Now,
those words never came out of his mouth. Never. That is not correct. That is not what happened. After I answered the final question, yes, I believe we cut to commercial, and Amir asked, so, hey, when's the next Jeremy Dewitte musical coming out? I'm like, oh, you know, after the charges have been, you know, dealt with. So no, I wasn't immediately kicked off stage. I, in fact, stayed. Another guy came on. He said his piece about the polygraph Jeremy had asked to take. And then we both exited because the segment was over where we were involved. So, another lie. Gia, thank you so much. You're amazing. No, you. So, that's another lie from Jeremy. Where are we? 3 minutes and 36 seconds in. We have that many lies already. Good God.
And he was pointing to Blue Bacon. So,
why would he be pointing to me when he says get both of them off my stage? That's a concern. That's weird. Dr. Phil barely acknowledged I was there. He nodded to me, being like, all right, you're on stage, let's go. Right? That was it. That was the only... That's why I say that he was professional, whereas I say his wife was very lovely. His wife was like, oh, hi, right? She actually was like, seemed excited to, you know, not excited, but she was much friendlier. And it's not that Dr. Phil was unfriendly. He was perfectly fine. He was exactly what he should have been. He was very professional. He was running the show. He did his thing. I was a speck of dust on his windshield, and I wouldn't expect to be anything else because he's interacted with some very famous people, and there's some guy on the internet who happens to be involved in this situation, right? That's it. That's it. So at no point did he point to me and say, get him off my stage. J Pavilion, if I had Dr. Phil's number, I'd let him know. Unfortunately, I don't. So yeah, so that's another lie from Jeremy. Let's keep going.
The 2 questions and the conversation that me and Blue Bacon had before they started recording.
What conversation was that?
I guess might have changed Dr. Phil's opinion.
What conversation? Let me tell you what the conversation was. The conversation was, I walked out after that pretty intense intro, and Jeremy goes, I'm very disappointed in you, young man. And he said it as like in a joking little thing, and I went, well, you know, like, okay, it's kind of weird. And he asked, how's your buddy Viddler? Which apparently he talks about here. I've never met Sergeant Viddler. I've tried to contact Sergeant Viddler for information, and the response that I get from Orange County is, you're going to have to go through the appropriate channels, right? Do a FOIA request, whatever. That's the response I get, which is the appropriate response. Good for them. Sure, I tried to sneak in through the back door to get the information I wanted, and they said no. So, cool. Am I friends with Sergeant Viddler? No. Would I like to be friends with Sergeant Viddler? I think so, yes. I think we could tell some stories. I feel like I would have a beer with him. I would love that. Which is what I told Jeremy. I'm like, well, I mean, can we really be friends if he's never bought me a beer? Right? As a joke. And I think Jeremy took that and went in some weird direction with it. So, I don't know where he's getting his nonsense. If he is delusional or he's intentionally lying. But I assure you it's nonsense. Now, we know that he's not telling the truth about some things because we've already seen the Dr. Phil episode, and it did not go well for him. He claimed it went very well for him. It didn't. It did not go well. I don't know what he's on or what he should be on as far as, medicinal help, but maybe that's something he needs to address with his doctor.
Situation. One of the things I said to Blue Bacon when he came on stage was, "How you doing?" He said, "Good." I said, "That's great." I said, "I'm a little disappointed in you, young man."
That one's true. He did say that. But he didn't say, "How are you doing?" I'm pretty sure he opened with, "I'm very disappointed in you, young man." I'm pretty sure that was his opening. I don't remember him saying, "Hi, how are you? How's it going?" It might have happened. That's just not what I remember. So, hey, finally some honesty from Jeremy Dewitte. And I'm going pretty hard on Jeremy right now. I'd like to remind you all that in the beginning of all this, I was willing to help him. I reached out and be like, let's figure it out, man. Let's fix this. Let's, correct. Let's help you run this business in a way that is within the law. And he seemed open to that idea and then rejected all of my information and then kept breaking the law. And that's when I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'm going to stop being nice now. Right? Because my thing is, yeah, everyone makes mistakes. But if you refuse information and you refuse help from me, now why is it my business to keep trying? Right? So I'll just address the issues that you continue to have. And he's been posting videos where he shows himself breaking the law on his own channel. So he has this argument, real world police, they edited the videos to make me look bad. It's like, well, they didn't put that into the video. That exists. So while it might not be an accurate representation of your character, it does establish that crimes likely have been committed. And even in his own videos, which he releases, it shows crimes being committed. Minor ones. He hasn't put the big ones in, I'm sure. But there's just so much nonsense. Anyway, I've ranted long enough. Let's keep going.
And he laughed. He goes, "What do you mean by that?" And I said, "Well, at first you said you had my back and you were supporting me, and you have the video to show that."
I don't think this conversation ever happened. So.
And then you became friends with Viddler.
Yeah. No, that conversation never happened. He went, "I'm very disappointed in you, young man." And I went, well, this is awkward. And I sort of had an awkward response to it. And then he goes, "How's your friend Sergeant Viddler?" Right? He didn't say, "Oh, you had my back. Oh, what happened? Oh, we were best buds." That didn't happen. Unless I have forgotten. Now, it's entirely possible that I have forgotten the entire conversation. But, I used to be a criminal investigator. I like to think my memory's pretty good, although there was a lot that happened that day. So if there's video of it and it shows that he's actually telling the truth, cool. I'll admit to being wrong. But I'm at that 95%, that's absolute nonsense. Because that is not what I remember. And I feel like that would have stuck in my brain. So he gets one of those.
And started telling lies and misinformation.
Wait.
And you became friends with Viddler and started telling lies.
Jeremy, if I've said any lies or misinformation, you point it out. Because everything that I've talked about has been backed by facts. There is stuff I haven't talked about yet because I'm waiting on that one little piece that will put it all together or take it all apart, right? Depending on how it goes. There are big things I have. And there's a video I want to make. My TV is doing weird things. So we're waiting on that one. It doesn't matter. If I've said anything wrong, you go ahead and point it out. Because everything is based on, how the law is, how you have broken it, the case file, the statements, my own experience with interpreting law and enforcing it. So if I have it wrong, you figure it out and you tell me what's wrong. Don't just make these blanket statements to be like, I hope no one checks that I said this, that he was wrong. No, you point out something specific. You give me something real. Don't just be beating around the bush like you do and make other people make assumptions for you. You provide evidence for once. Let's see that happen.
And misinformation. And he said, well, yeah, I'm friends with Viddler, but not like we've gone out and had beers or anything. We've never been to a bar to go get beers.
That is not what I said. At no point did I say I was friends with Viddler. I said, how can we be friends? I said, I'm not sure we're friends. He's never bought me a beer. Those were my words. Sorry, Jeremy, if you misheard me or you misunderstood it. You have a history of misunderstanding things. For example, the Florida statute regarding funeral escorts. You misunderstood that one. I've established that with some pretty darn good short videos, I like to think, as far as, the actual wording of it. Now, Jeremy has claimed that he has permission from a judge, and it's in writing, I think, but he's never been able to provide it. Not once. But that's not my business because I'm not the one that's defending myself in court against these charges. He is. So if he has that, well, gosh, I sure hope he can present it in court. This video, we are 4 minutes in, and it already feels very desperate. He is making things up, trying to make other people look bad so that they forget all of the nonsense, the felonies he's committed, the fact that he's a sex offender, the videos we have of him yelling at people. Remember that guy in the blue car who's like, oh, you're not a police officer. And Jeremy's like, get out of the procession. And then he's like, oh, but he was going in and out of the procession. No, he was taking up that second lane that Jeremy was trying to speed through, which he does not have the lawful authority to do. He only has the lawful authority to take up one lane. He doesn't get that second lane to speed around, do whatever he wants in regards to traffic law. That blue car, from what I've seen, appears to have only been in that lane that Jeremy wanted to use. That blue car can do that. So his claims like, oh, this blue car, like you didn't see the first 5 times they entered the funeral procession. He wasn't entering the funeral procession. He was entering the lane that you wanted to use that you didn't have the lawful authority to take. He's gonna, oh my God. This is the great time to bring up the fact that the lead prosecutor in this case has resigned. It would appear. It does not appear to have anything to do with Jeremy, though. So once again, he's trying to take things and make them all about him, which does not seem to be the case. Anyway, we're going to keep going.
So we're not that kind of friends. We're friends.
Oh, yeah, for that claim.
So that's what he said. And he said that in front of Dr. Phil. So again, at that point, I believe it was when Dr. Phil realized there was maybe something that was not explained very well. Later on, I was advised that Dr. Phil didn't even know that he was on our side in the very beginning, or I wouldn't say so much on our side, but
Dr. Phil at no point appeared to be on Jeremy's side during the episode. And it's amazing that he's made this claim because the second half was so much worse for him than the first. And he didn't do well in the first. The first looked pretty bad. So that second half, when Jeremy starts talking about what if your wife had died, Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil looks like he's about to punch Jeremy in the face, and his wife is over there shocked, how could you even say that? Yeah, no, at no point did Jeremy do well during this filming. He is relying on people not to do their fact checking. Do the fact checking. Fact check me. Fact check me, because I could be lying to you as well. So when the episode airs, you go ahead. You compare what I've said to what they air. Okay? I want you to do that. And then I want you to go, well, based on what both of them have said, I can determine who's being more accurate based on what I saw. If that's Jeremy, great. If that's me, great. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm going to tell you what I experienced and what I can call him out for lying about. We're going to keep going.
Definitely had done an interview where he was pro-Metro. I guess the producer explained to me.
Wait, who did it?
Had done it, or Phil didn't even know that he was on our side in the very beginning, or I wouldn't say so much on our side, but definitely had done an interview where he was pro-Metro.
Stopping right there. I wasn't pro-Metro. I was pro helping him fix his mistakes. I was trying to be a neutral party in all of this, and then he started doing things like that where he came after me. And I was like, oh, well, this is war then. Cool. I'm not going to play the nice game anymore. You know when he stopped talking to me? When he stopped being in communication with me, when I was trying to be like, hey, I will help you. Because I see this as a good service. You're just really bad at it, right? And, oh, but we get paid so much. We do this many things. I don't care. You're being charged with felonies. That means you're bad at it, okay? Unless, of course, the police are actually corrupt. I hope you're able to establish that in court because that's a big claim to make. I was willing to help him. He stopped talking to me after I said, hey, why don't you tell me about these claims you've made about your military service? That's when he shut up because he knows that those claims are not true. And if they were true, well, it wouldn't make sense for them to have made sure I couldn't bring them up during the Dr. Phil show, which I absolutely would have. You better believe I would have on that show if I was allowed to. And I think Dr. Phil wanted that to happen and didn't realize I could not talk about it. I don't know, because that intro was the perfect setup for it, and I just was like, I can't. And maybe that's why Dr. Phil didn't ask follow-up questions, because he's like, oh, we can't talk about it. He had an earpiece in. I can only assume that someone said, he can't answer that question. He can't. Don't ask that question. I can only assume, because that seems like the most likely thing that happened. But I don't even know. We're going to keep going. I'm getting heated.
And I guess the producer explained to me later on that at that point he realized that he wanted to change the storyline. Like,
that seems awfully unlikely because the storyline didn't change. Dr. Phil kept going after Dewitte. Now, the only storyline change that would have made sense was don't keep going after the military angle. So if a producer told him that, that would probably be what that was about. Jeremy likes to make things up based on actual information and embellish them until they are no longer true. I can only assume that's what he's doing now.
And I don't know why he lied about it. It didn't make any sense.
Didn't lie.
I believe that the reason, my personal opinion, and so did the producer, their
I'd like to see evidence of that.
personal opinion as well, was the reason why he was kind of lying about it was because he was under the impression that his scene might be cut. And they
At no point was I under the impression that my scene would be cut. Why? Because I was up there when the polygrapher came up there. And the polygrapher bit is a really important bit. It's a very, very good bit. At no point. Now, it was a short thing, so I was like, oh, maybe, they'll bring me on, they'll bring me off, and it might not make it into the episode. I'm cool with that. At no point did I think it was because of, the answers I gave. But as it went on, I'm like, I'm still on the stage. They're going to have to remove quite a bit of footage for it to make sense. So no, I never after the airing, after the filming, thought my segment was going to be cut. They have confirmed that I'm going to be on for the second half of this episode. There is a picture of me that I got sent of me on stage. So I know it's there. I know it happened. He's making things up again about me for his benefit, him being Jeremy. So he's going to get another one of these.
That out, being the fact that Dr. Phil didn't really talk to him too much, and the information that was talked about was...
I do want to answer that. So you say, surprised Dr. Phil didn't bring veterans on to face JD and his disgusting lies because Amir wouldn't let him. I assume it was Amir getting involved. Part of the stipulation for Jeremy being on the show is no one could bring up his claims to military service. That was specifically in there. Otherwise, I'm sure it would have happened. And I would have gone ham on him, but they wouldn't let me. So, unfortunately.
Irrelevant, but it didn't really show anything. All it did was show his personal opinion, and
the opinion that's based in many years of law enforcement. Yes, the opinion that's shared by the prosecutor, the opinion that's shared by the police who have arrested him. It's an opinion until it's confirmed by a judge, right? My opinion is that Jeremy has committed the crime of police impersonation. And until a judge confirms that, that is an opinion. Because if I say it's a fact, now he can go after me, And to the officer as well, I can say he meets the elements of that crime, or he would appear to protect myself from a lawsuit. But it is an opinion that is shared by just about everyone that is not in Jeremy's corner, which is most people.
at that point, that's not why he was there. He was supposed to be this great investigator, and that's what the producer advised me was they were led to believe that he had lots of investigation.
I do have lots of investigation experience. I did a couple years as a drug suppression investigator. I did a couple years as a general crimes investigator. And then dispersed throughout my military career was your standard beat cop, police stuff, patrol car, whatever. Currently, I am a private investigator. So I've worked quite a few different investigative fields, both as a civilian and as a soldier. I'm not bad at it. I wouldn't say I'm like Poirot. Is that the guy? Or I'm certainly no Sherlock Holmes. But I know what I'm doing. And again, Jeremy, if you think I have gotten it wrong, you be sure to point out some facts. Figure out what I've gotten wrong and address it directly. Don't just make these broad claims like you do and let other people come to their own conclusions for you. No, you call me out directly. Let's see that happen.
Skills, and he'd done all this investigating, and then once Dr. Phil was able to kind of, I wouldn't say corner him or question him.
Dr. Phil at no point cornered me. He asked me some questions and I answered them.
I guess that was not what was led to believe.
Here's another thing. Hold on. We're going to stop it right there. Dr. Phil's information came from his producers. A lot of his producers' information came from me. I wasn't originally going to be on the show. They just called me a couple times, asked me a bunch of questions about this because I was involved in it, and I assumed that they couldn't get someone like Real World Police on. And they went, "Do you want to? Do you want to be on?" Now they never said I was taking anyone's spot, but I can only assume that they tried for Real World Police. They couldn't get him, and then they're like, "This guy can articulate some facts right off the bat, off the top of his head," because I've been dealing with this for a while. They offered me a spot on the show. That was it. It wasn't a big spot. It was never a big spot. That big spot was Jeremy's, because he's the subject of this. I don't want a big spot on the show because it's not about me. If you're on the show on Dr. Phil for a long time, it's probably not for a good thing, right? You're probably the subject of some bad stuff. So if I had been on there for very long, I might have been concerned about it. But I don't know what he's talking about, because Dr. Phil definitely knew a lot of the stuff that I had already said. And his producers definitely knew that I had said that the individual pieces of Jeremy's uniform were not illegal. The totality of all of them together were, and the way he behaved. The producers absolutely had that information. So I don't know what he's talking about again.
The thing is no matter what, people can talk shit about Dr. Phil. I really don't know. I've never really watched it. When they called me, I was actually, honored that they were willing to put me on the show. And then a lot of people did tell me I should probably not go on.
Yeah, a lot of people being Amir, his attorney, I would imagine. I bet Amir was real mad about it.
The show, because they were going to make me look extremely bad, and that's what he did for ratings. And then I did watch an episode or two to kind of get a gist or a feel what it was about. And to a degree, Dr. Phil, like I said in one of the other episodes or vlogs that I did, was he gets to the bottom of the truth by showing the things that people don't like.
Yeah, and you know what bottom of the truth he got to? It was that you're lying, Jeremy. That's the bottom of the truth he got to. So I don't know why you'd be defending this guy. Like, yeah, the episode was great. We did so well. Like, Dr. Phil loved me. That is not the impression I got at any point from anyone who was on that show or involved with it. Now, maybe a producer was super nice to him to keep him from, losing it, which is totally possible, that a producer went, "Hey, bud, good job. Dr. Phil really liked you. Have a nice day," right? Like, don't break anything on your way out. That's totally possible. I assure you, at no point did I ever think that Jeremy came out of that ahead.
And then, of course, the things that people do like. And so I do believe in some shape or form the reason why he got him off the stage immediately was...
But he didn't get me off the stage immediately. I was on that stage for a while. It was a very cold stage. I was just sitting there looking at the camera equipment like, oh, I kind of want that. Oh, look at that boom arm. These lights. You probably see me on that stage like looking at things I probably shouldn't be looking directly at, like the cameras. Like I'll just be looking at a camera like, oh, that's a really good chest rig with the weighted Steadicam situation. Oh, that camera's on. Like, you'll probably see that. It's going to be super embarrassing if they don't cut that out. I was on there for a while.
Due to the fact that he, at that point, thought the conversation was going to go in a different direction. And the information that he received wasn't as correct. And then, of course, I truly believe the conversation that I and Blue Bacon had on stage, and then he confessed to being friends with Viddler.
Never happened. Never confessed to being friends with Viddler. I said, can we really be friends if he's never bought me a beer? Or some very similar variation of that. I never at any point said I was friends with Viddler. I still can confirm I am not friends with Viddler. I would like to be friends with Viddler. Viddler? Sergeant Viddler? First name Keith? Sergeant Keith Viddler. I'm fairly certain. If you want to be friends, let's do it. Once this case is over, and it would be appropriate for us to interact, because you're pretty heavily involved in this. You come here, I'll come to you, one of the two. I don't know. I'll hand deliver you some merch that I've made. Oh, by the way, guys, I have merchandise. If you want it, someone will post. I'll probably put it in the video description. I don't know. I'll hand deliver it, because just this whole thing. No, we are not friends, but I am offering you the invitation to be. Cool. Glad we figured it that way. And Jeremy, once again, you're lying.
And confessed to going back and forth in emails with Viddler.
What? Okay, well, at no point did I ever say that, so I don't know what the hell that's about. So, you get another one of those. Where is he getting his nonsense? Is someone, like, I want to know who's feeding him his delusions, because that's absurd. Wow.
At that point, I believe also as well that Dr. Phil realized there was more to the story that was being told. At the end of the day, Dr. Phil is a doctor, and he's had this.
Now, okay, I'm going to give him that one. Dr. Phil is a doctor. He has a doctorate in psychology. He does not have an active medical license. You do not require a medical license to be called a doctor if you have a PhD. Fun fact, now, you cannot practice medicine. And in the contracts we sign, it says we understand that we are not receiving any legitimate medical advice. Not that it's illegitimate, but like, this isn't treatment, and we should not consider it treatment. Just because a lot of people have come to me and said, Dr. Phil's not a real doctor. He technically is. And I don't know much about Dr. Phil. I don't really watch the show. I know of the show. I've known of the show for a very long time. It's a very popular show. It's a very famous show. I have no reason to defend Dr. Phil, other than the facts of the matter is he has a PhD in psychology, which does make him a doctor. It's just not a Dr. MD or whatever other thing you would put after that. So, I'll give him that one because that is true.
Show for, 19 years, I believe.
19 seasons. I don't know if that translates to 19 years, though.
19 seasons?
Yes.
Or 20 seasons. So I'm under the impression that he might be able to read people's demeanor and actions and things like that, and kind of see through their bullshit, being the fact that's what the whole show is about, seeing through people's.
He certainly saw through yours, Jeremy. Oh boy, and it wasn't even close. He started the show seeing through it. He started the show by saying, wow, how fast does this motorcycle go? Waiting for you to say, oh, it goes really fast. So he could say, oh, you would know, huh? Have you done that? Because in this second part, I assume we're going to see it where you call him out and say, oh, there's no video of me saying I'm going to get 100 miles an hour. And then Dr. Phil had his crew actually go and find it because they didn't plan on showing it. And I know they didn't plan on showing it because it hadn't been bleeped out. All the other ones that they showed while I was there had the swears edited out in production. I just lost part of my headphones. It's fine, whatever. They went out and found it and added it to the show because you wanted to fight them on something that you were wrong about. He had you the entire time. At no point were you control or convincing him that you were the good guy. At no point did I feel that was the case.
bullshit and seeing the truth. So I believe that was one of the reasons why he kicked him off the stage.
Didn't get kicked off.
And I say kick off because, and anyone that wants to talk shit or, I really appreciated Blue Bacon in the very beginning when he was kind of pro Metro and kind of supporting.
Wasn't pro Metro. I was just willing to provide assistance. That's what I do, is I try to help people out where I can. It's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed being a police officer.
Us. It wasn't until after Viddler became friends with him after that.
Viddler and I are not friends. We've already been over that.
First interview he did with us, that he changed his ways of speaking about us.
Changed my ways of speaking about you because you stopped talking to me after I tried to call you out for claiming to be a veteran of the military when you weren't. That's what the change was. It had nothing to do with anyone else but you. And the fact that I was willing to address that with you, and you went, no, you're just out to get me. Probably because I was a soldier, right? I mean, we even have my NCO hat right here, okay? I still am a soldier. So your claims of military service are pretty upsetting to me because guess what? I don't take kindly to that. I worked hard. I joined the military. I went through a lot of stuff. I went through some very difficult stuff. I had friends that deployed and didn't make it back. I know friends who have been incredibly suicidal. Some of them have tried to commit suicide. Some of them have been successful. So you don't get to claim that you were in the military and then be like, oh, I can't imagine why Blue Bacon doesn't like me anymore. It must be because Sergeant Viddler got involved. No, that's not the case. It's all you. It's always been all you. And James K., thank you so much. He says, it becomes clear Viddler's compromised Blue. Yes, I am a puppet thing. It's like the, what's that music video? Was it NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? NSYNC, the Bye Bye Bye, when they're puppets. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're getting off topic. We're going to keep going into this.
Which is interesting that, that's how it always seems to go. Everyone's willing to talk one way, but then when they see that there's money from clicks or money from views.
No. I stopped talking nice when you were unwilling to discuss your claims of military service. So there's another one of those for you.
And money or support from a sheriff's office.
I have never received money from the sheriff's office. I've only ever paid them money in traffic tickets, of which I have very, very few. This idea that I've been paid by, I don't know what, Orange County, Osceola County, whoever the local, like Orlando police, Miami police, wherever he is, Miami-Dade County, that idea is absurd and false. 100% absurd and false. So he gets another one of these.
Actually, the deputy that's the lead investigator that's leaking false information, and of course...
I wouldn't know about that because he's not leaking it to me. I steal most of my stuff from Real World Police, and you know this. Well, Real World Police and I've asked, he says he's cool with it because technically he doesn't own the footage, and I do use it in a transitive way. I have requested specific videos through the proper channels, all right? But there have been like 2 of them. The one that comes to mind immediately is the one on Chance Scholl, the Department of Homeland Security guy, because I was like, that's kind of a big story. I'm going to request that footage. And then they basically just handed it to me because they're like, yeah, it's already been requested. Real World Police already had it. Oh, they didn't say Real World Police already had it. But like, that's the only other person who would have it. And I remembered, I have seen clips of this. He just hasn't used this part. So I got the scoop on that. That's that, and like maybe there's like 1 or 2 other ones that I've gotten. But I'm certainly very much behind. So I just sort of steal a lot of Real World Police's stuff for content. And anything I can do to help you, Jay, in regards to that, because I have used a lot of the fruits of your hard labor. I would love to give back, because you helped me, I'm willing to help you. But the claim that videos are being leaked to me is absurd. The claim that I'm being paid to make this content is absurd. The claim that Viddler and I are friends is absurd. Why is it just Viddler? Why wouldn't I also be friends with Corporal Ramsey? Is what I want to know. Like, I'd be friends with him too. He does a killer interview. I'd love to talk to him about interview techniques, but apparently I'm not friends with him for some reason. So there's another button press for Jeremy.
The telephone calls from the jailhouse, things like that. I can see how they would change their speech and what they might say for those clicks. But I mean, that's just blue bacon.
You also look at his uniform. All right, let's point out some things. That wheel on his right side, our left, that flying wheel, that's a police symbol. That's often used. Motor Ops for Metro State. That's the badge that Los Angeles police use with the city seal on it. That's very likely copyright infringement. On his right, he has a badge that I think is also has a police symbol on it. He has a flying wheel on his right shoulder, which is our left. And he has J. Dewitte, SORT, which is Special Operations Reaction Team, I think. I could be wrong about that, but that's also something that he is not. Like, that's absurd. His department doesn't have, that's just made up. EpiV Diva, thank you so much. He figured you out real fast. Yeah, he wishes he figured me out in any way. He's so absurd. Hey, McAddicts. Yes, I'm going to use that $10 to buy Viddler a beer and myself. If I have to Uber Eats it to him because we are on the other side of the country. James, thank you so much. I became swayed by that sweet, sweet YouTube money. Guys, YouTube does not pay well. I made $11 last week on all of my videos. $11. Most of my income comes from donations from people like you. I'm like PBS, just absolute trash, just without the puppets or the fun animated, wholesome TV shows that educate children on morals and character. I'm just an angry guy behind a desk for the most part, who I like to think is amusing. But James, I can read it, but it's great. So your donations are really what keeps this channel alive. I'm not saying donate, but I just want to make it very clear at this point in the stream that it is your donations that I am so incredibly appreciative of. So allow me to buy things like this button, which I love this button. I didn't know if I'd like it, but I love it. It's so good. We're going to keep going. I've had my rant. Oh, Karen, thank you so much. Where did you go to the Dr. Phil show? Were you invited? I was invited. Yes, it was in Los Angeles on the Paramount Studios lot, which was really cool. Everyone there was incredibly friendly. So I can understand why Jeremy might have been like, they loved me, because they were just so gosh darn friendly. I was invited. I was not paid to be there. They paid for my gas to drive down. It was a 1,200-mile drive down and a 1,200-mile drive back. It was a very lovely drive. I got to see all sorts of fun things. It was very long. And my moderator, TX Packet, also known as Rennie, was on the phone with me for quite a bit of it, keeping me alive, because I was just like trying not to fall asleep as I drove down some very boring countryside, interspersed with very exciting things. It was a lovely road trip. I'd never road trip like that before. I would definitely do it again. I would come back to Dr. Phil for sure. I would drive back down, not a problem. But anyway, yes. Also, guys, if you do donate money with a question, I will stop whatever I'm saying to address it. So, James, yes, we're going to need more buttons. If you got other sound effects that you want other than, like I was thinking about like a little ding, like a bing, or like an air horn. If you guys have ideas, you let me know. So we're going to keep watching Dewitte.
Let's talk about.
Oh, why didn't I fly? Because COVID. We are at like the height of COVID in California. And they didn't want it brought into the studio because Dr. Phil's kind of an old man. You don't see it on the video so well, but like up and close in person, he's not as young as he used to be. And not that like he's like drooping or falling apart, but there is quite a bit of difference seeing someone in person than seeing them, like here. Like in person, I probably look a lot wrinklier. No, not really. But yeah, he's certainly in the at-risk sort of section. So that is why they didn't fly me, because, I'm in a tube full of people. The chances of me getting it are a little bit higher than if I'm just driving. Allegedly, apparently. I don't know. COVID is at 30,000 feet. Yes, it is, if someone carrying COVID is at 30,000 feet as well. So we're going to keep watching Dr. Phil.
RWP.
Or not Dr. Phil, I'm sorry. Jeremy Dewitte.
What? Listen here, brah. We have somewhere hidden, I don't know where it is yet, but we even got a copy of a conversation. So Real World was contacted, and he refused to talk via phone. He only wanted to talk via Twitter and things of that nature.
Now, this might be true, because they did have a statement from Real World Police, and it was only text. They didn't have a phone, they didn't have a video, they had nothing. It was just a text saying, yes, the videos had been edited in the interest of time, right? And may not accurately reflect the entirety of the situation, or something like that. He had some like pretty good legal statement type situation. I don't remember the details. B Cage, thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, what he's saying about not being wanted to contact the telephone, whatever, I believe it could be true. Jay likes his anonymity as far as his address and his voice and his face and all that. I believe so. Perfectly potential.
And one of his accounts, an internet account, and the reason why he wanted to do that was so that way he could have one of his associates do it for him, so he could later on have plausible deniability. Anyone that knows anything about internet communication, I really don't, because I'm dumb as fuck, but
I didn't say it, but I like that he did, which is, this would have been the moment for that little ding, you know? Ding. That would have been the moment. Ah, well. Next time.
I've been advised the reason why he wanted to do that was so he would have plausible deniability to say, I didn't say that. So, the funny thing is Real World was contacted first over Blue Bacon. In fact, two other people were contacted over Blue Bacon.
That's probably
Blue Bacon
true.
Wasn't the first poll. He was actually like the fourth or fifth or even sixth.
But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because I was there. I was still there. No, I probably wasn't the first choice. And it very much felt like they contacted me for information, not to get me on the stage, right? That's what it felt like initially. And they went, would you be interested in being on the show? And I went, yeah, okay. And they went, we can probably get you on. So, yeah, were there other people in front of me in that line? Probably. I have no doubts about that. Does it mean I didn't go and I didn't provide that information to the producers and I didn't make him look bad on stage very politely and professionally? No, that's not what it means, because I did all of those things. So I'm not going to worry about not being first choice. I have 5,000 subscribers. I had less than that when I went. Why would I be first choice?
Contact that they tried to reach out to. I really don't know. I kind of tuned everything out. The producers were explaining it to me, and she was saying that, you know, they won't come out, they won't speak. But
now, I want to know why the producers would have given him that information, right? Like, oh, yeah, well, Poop Bacon, he wasn't even our first choice. It's weird that the producer would have said that. So I have some doubts. PJ, how do we get him to answer for a stolen valor? It's so aggravating. We don't. He won't do it. He won't do it. He'll just say, I can't answer that. Like when he was called out for the having the all-black pepperball gun. Like, there's no reason to have an all-black pepperball gun if you're not trying to make it look like an actual gun, right? Then make it in yellow. Get it in yellow. I want a pepperball gun. I think they're really, really cool. I think they're a great tool for self-defense. You don't have to worry about a lot of the legalities of, you know, lethal force when it comes to self-defense, because there are legal issues that you can run into. Some pretty severe ones, obviously, when you kill a person. Pepperball's probably not going to do that, but it is a very effective tool to get away. Not necessarily to defend someone else's life, but to get yourself away from a dangerous situation. Pepperball gun, fantastic. If I got one, it would be yellow, because I don't want anyone thinking it's a gun and then being able to articulate why they were justified in using lethal force against me because they thought I had a gun and I'm a pepperball gun, right? Like, there are reasons not to get the black one. Jeremy, though, doesn't think things through. So he got called out on Dr. Phil for it, and he got backed into a corner and just went, I can't answer that, which I assume is what Amir told him to say when he was backed into a corner. Weird, I know, right?
But you know who else they contacted, and they refused as well. Believe it or not, they contacted the Orange County Sheriff's Office. And that wasn't the Orange County Sheriff's Office of California. That was the Orange County Sheriff's Office here of Orange County,
What?
Florida.
They didn't contact the Orange County one in Florida? Well, that's weird. Or California. You know what I meant. Yeah, of course they contacted the Orange County one in Florida. That's where he's doing his shenanigans. And let me just James, any legal ramification to admitting on the show it was him pulling over the car on the clip they used, and he's gonna him to do it. Because in the interview with the police, he's like, that wasn't me. That's not my voice. He didn't deny that on Dr. Phil, which I thought was very interesting, personally. And yeah, is it possible that some of the sirens were added in post? Sure. I'm not saying they were. I'm saying it is physically, computorially possible. However, the police have the unedited versions, and they will be submitting those in court. So it doesn't really matter what's on YouTube, because those aren't the ones being used in court. Now, there are claims that Jeremy asked one of his guys, I think it was Photo. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this Photo, or whoever I'm calling out. I'm not trying to get you in trouble. There are claims that Jeremy asked one of his guys who edit the audio out. Do I know if that's true? No, I have no idea. I wasn't there. Do I trust all of my sources? No, because a bunch of them are former employees of Jeremy, contractors, that have a grudge. And I'm not stupid to the fact that they might be making things up. Stupid to the fact doesn't even make sense. I'm not, you know what I meant, right? They could easily have a grudge against Jeremy and be giving me information that isn't accurate. So I'm very careful with the things they tell me, not only because it might be wrong, but to protect their own identities. Because if someone comes to me to be like, I want to help you, well, yeah, I'm going to be more compelled to help them, protect them from all you crazy people on the internet, because there are a lot of you crazy people, right? There's a lot of nonsense on the internet. So there are these claims, but there was a video I just saw recently that I checked out that I'd forgotten existed, where Jeremy says, tells one of his guys, hey, make sure you don't use the sirens this time, or cool it on the sirens, indicating that, yes, they do use sirens, and this is a known thing. So there's a lot that Jeremy has claimed that's just like, okay, bud. So legal ramifications, I don't know. I don't think it's going to help him, though. It could definitely be used against him.
They even spoke to Sergeant Viddler, and Sergeant Viddler refused to go on to show, said he didn't want to speak on national TV.
James Brown. James Brown in my comment section, you're the guy who said that you need a statue on a sign for it to be trespassing, right? By the way, that's not correct. But that's not what this video is about. I just want to tell you that if
Real World wouldn't go on because they were scared of lawsuits and being sued.
But I'm not.
And on and on. I showed up.
Oh, well, if you didn't say that, I'm sorry, James. I thought maybe you were someone else. Unless you're lying to me. No, it's fine. It's fine. Look, I might just be, there are a lot of people I talk to. I might just be getting some faces confused. My bad. I'm sorry. Let's carry on.
And my attorney showed up, and I'm the one that's under the gun. Those guys are the ones that are supposed to...
Yeah, you know why you're under the gun? Because you're the one who's being charged with those crimes. That's crazy, I know.
Aiming the gun at me and saying that's him and that's it.
Hey, remember that time when police actually aimed guns at him because he failed to pull over during a traffic stop? Just fun. Just a fun little thing.
And they refused to come out, but here I am, the one that's defending my life from lies and...
Should have thought about that before you potentially committed all those crimes. Am I right?
And misinformation and edited false videos, and videos that were leaked to Real World without a warrant.
So you don't need a warrant to leak those videos. The thing with Florida is that it's very open to freedom of information requests. That's why you hear about Florida Man so much. It's not that every state is better off than Florida, and Florida has only the crazies, right? It's because Florida gives that information out much, much more easily. They have their statutes about giving information to the public are much, much, much more relaxed than many, many, many other states. So that's why we hear about Florida Man so much, because the press can get access to that much more easily. So, Jeremy, I think your leak is a misunderstanding of how easy it is to get information from Florida police officers. You might want to look into that. Just a thought.
Without cause, seized without cause.
John, why does Jeremy talk trash about me? Because he has nowhere else to go. He's run out of other options, I assume. His channel's not helping him. Dr. Phil didn't help him. When he went to his local police station, didn't help him. I tried to help him, but then he was an idiot and refused my help and pretended that he hadn't made claims that he was in the military and decided to, try to make me look stupid. So I didn't try to make him look stupid. I just addressed his stupidity. I didn't have to try anything. I just drew attention to it. And now I think he's attacking me because he has nothing left to attack. Come at me, bro. I'm better at this than you are. Just a thought.
Seized without reasonable suspicion of a crime. That was all later added in reports weeks later. But
yes, sometimes in reports you go back and you re-edit them because new information from, body cam footage, whatever came up, and you go, oh, I can conclusively confirm that this actually happened. It's not common, but I've seen reports updated over time. So I don't know what he's talking about, but it's entirely possible that it's nothing unreasonable.
But anyways, again, those videos were released to real world. I don't know if anyone else knows about SIM cards or data cards, but...
Have you guys ever heard of SIM cards? I've never heard of a SIM card before. God. Oh, wait, it's the thing that goes in my phone. Yeah, we know what SIM cards are.
Isn't it funny that Windermere Police Department...
James, it was you. It was you. You said a sign does not mean she's allowed on property. The sign should have cited the penal code saying what penal code she is defined. Liar. Sorry, that's what I was checking my phone for. Just put it out there. It was you. All right, cool. Carry on. Unless it's some guy with your name and your picture. But that's not what this video is about. I'm just saying. Hey, B. Cage, I almost missed your donation. Thank you so much. We're moving on.
First said there was no camera. Then the Dewitte page showed that there was a camera in a picture. The second post that they did, or response, was it wasn't turned on. And then crazily, one of the police officers at the scene took a picture of my camera, and guess what?
What?
For those that haven't followed the Jeremy Dewitte case,
tell me.
Please go and look, because it shows a clear picture of the camera on red light recording.
What?
And then for the third lie, they said, because remember, the first lie was I never had the camera. The second lie was it wasn't turned on in recording.
Okay.
The third lie was, oh, yes, it was on in recording, but there was no SIM card. Wait a minute. There's no SIM card? Well, then how the fuck did all the
Whoa, language, Jeremy. This is a children's TV show. Let's calm down.
videos get linked to real world?
I want to see this evidence that they said that there wasn't a SIM card, there wasn't a camera, and there wasn't this, and there wasn't that, and they're lying about all these things. I want to see the evidence of that, right? Because Jeremy makes a lot of claims. Many of them are wrong or false or blatant lies. I'd love to see the evidence of that, just like I'd love to see the evidence that a judge said that you could do whatever the hell you want in order to safely administer the movement or whatever of a funeral escort. I'd love to see evidence of many, many of your claims, because you have this habit of not providing them. So maybe change that.
They came back with the fourth lie, which was, oh, yes, it did have a SIM card. And oh, yes, it was recording. And oh, yes, he did have his camera.
No.
But the day that he was doing this escort in Windermere, that we're saying he impersonated a police officer, which started all of this and gave us the supposed rights to download and then release his video footage. All the videos on the camera were there, all except the one in Windermere.
I have no idea what he's talking about. What is he going on about? Provide the proof or stop talking. That's my go-to. Anyway, James Brown says a sign does not make it a law. This is in reference to a different video. You're right. A sign does not make it a law. The law makes it a law. The sign just references that it is a law. I hope this helps. That's not this video, okay? That's not the video for this. Okay, cool. Thanks, champ.
Crazy. Fucking crazy. It's just amazing. It blows your mind. It's like Twilight. Has anyone watched the Twilight show? I mean, I remember when I was a kid, it was on. Anyone remember that shit?
That's
where you're
not...
just like, are you...
the Twilight... Oh, yes, I remember the Twilight zone. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, it's so easy to hate you right now, Jeremy, and make fun of you, because all you're doing is bashing me. Well, not all you're doing, but there's been a lot of that. So I'm sorry if I'm being kind of mean, but you maybe you started it. Just a thought. Just a thought. Okay.
Fuck.
Oh, Radina Marie Cook says, I cannot tell you how much I love the Jeremy Dewitte lie. Wait, I've lost you in the comments. Oh, the lie buzzer. I know. He hasn't said like any serious lies I can call out, so it's been a while. But I'll press it again just for fun because it's amazing. We're going to use this for a lot of things, by the way, because I have it and I love it. Jeremy Taylor. Hey, I appreciate you. You're an incredible human being, as are all the people who have donated. But I don't want you to feel like that doesn't make you special, Jeremy Taylor. Not DeWitt. Jeremy Taylor. Thank you.
Fucking kidding me? Is this really happening? Is a police department really doing this?
They
are they saying these lies?
They're investigating you for crimes, bud. That's what police do. So maybe I don't know if they told you those lies or not. I know there are a lot of things that you said, Jeremy, that have been provably wrong. And I love that he's like, read the real world or the JeremyDeWittCase.com thing, which I've in previous videos like established has posted false information. And they've removed a lot of their content, weirdly. So I don't consider it a trustworthy source, even though they have things that I would love to be able to confirm are true. For example, they have the interview with the person that Jeremy allegedly sexually assaulted. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if that's the real person. But I'd love to be able to confirm that information because it would be very useful to me, but I can't. Oh, well. Anyway.
And putting it on in writing? And then backtracking their story? And then changing what they're saying? Is anybody else paying attention?
Yes, we are.
Am I the only one that's...
And hold on, Jeremy. Stop talking over me. We are paying attention. And the things that I've seen while paying attention is that you appear to be committing a lot of crimes, bud. So if you have evidence that they've been changing their story about the footage, file a lawsuit against them, bud. That's a separate incident. That doesn't discredit their investigation into you necessarily. That's just, they prevented the public from gaining access to information that was in the public's interest or the defendant's interest to obtain. Now, that's its own separate thing, and that would be a problem if it was true. So you file that lawsuit, maybe you can get a little bit of bail money back because you spent a lot in bail money, and I'd hate to see I lose it all, you know? All right, cool.
Going, what the fuck is going on? And then you have...
B says, Bacon got the boot on Dr. Phil. What a loser. Well, that's provably false, and we'll see on Monday. James Brown says, Germt lives inside your head, not mine, and that's fine. But I make money off Jeremy being in my head, so I guess you could say that he's not living there rent-free. In fact, it's more like government subsidies for allowing him to be there. And for all those of you who are donating, thank you so much. You are what keeps this channel going. You're the best.
Some guy going on national TV and acting like...
James Brown says he's a truth teller despite being proven wrong. James, this is not your video. That's a different topic. But back off or I'll have to, I can silence you. I will.
Like he was there and then acting like he wasn't there and saying, oh, I wasn't actually on Dr. Phil. And then fucking unbeknownst to us, he saw this like...
Wait, Michelle, I just admitted that you are befriending him to try and make money. Who am I befriending? I'm not befriending. I'm not befriending Jeremy. Now, Michelle is someone who says I'm a bad actor. And to her, I say I'm not an actor. I'm an investigator. So if my acting is bad, that probably checks out. Okay, cool. But no, I'm not friends with Jeremy. I'm not friends with Viddler. I'm not friends with Ramsey. I'm not friends with Amir. I'd actually honestly like to be friends with Amir, just because I'm sure he has some crazy stories that maybe he can tell me outside of attorney-client privilege. I don't know. He seemed very nice, honestly. He's getting paid well for this, I would assume. So of course he's going to take this case, and he's pretty good at it, honestly. From what I've seen, he does all right. So anyway, I don't know who I'm supposedly befriending, but okay.
Changes in the story, probably because they told him, hey, yeah, we're going to keep.
All right, another interruption, but this one's a good one. Mr. E's Electronical Laboratories. I thought he was a fan of the Twilight movies for a minute there. Who, me? I can assure you I'm not. I can assure you I'm not. Or if you're talking about Jeremy. Possible. I couldn't say.
That part in the episode, because at first they were talking about cutting it, and that's probably why he was saying he wasn't gonna be there, or he.
No, I said I deflected from direct questions about the Dr. Phil episode. I never said I wasn't on it. I never said that it didn't exist. I said, wouldn't that be crazy? I didn't think they were going to cut it. At no point did I think that, other than like, oh, maybe beforehand, like it might not show up. Cool, whatever. I didn't think they were going to cut it once I was on there because they kept me on there for a while. I didn't say I was on it because I had a non-disclosure agreement. That thing that you also probably had. So you get one of these, Jeremy. That's crazy, I know.
Wasn't there because the production staff told us more than likely they were going to edit that out because it had no variance, it had no purpose.
Yeah, except for the fact that they kept me on stage after that while other things happened. They absolutely could have cut it out and they probably would have lost nothing. But apparently they didn't, because there's a promo that shows me on stage that someone sent me a picture from. So it's good times.
Because Dr. Phil felt that the information wasn't legitimate. Anyways,
I love that he's like, Dr. Phil didn't think the information was legitimate. And he's also said that the information I provided made Jeremy look good. So either I made Jeremy look good and Dr. Phil didn't believe it, or Jeremy's just full of nonsense. You gotta pick a story, dude.
So he lied to you guys.
Didn't lie, just deflected. Something Jeremy is very familiar with because I signed a non-disclosure agreement.
On his channel that you guys pay for, supposedly. I don't really know how that works.
Kara Smith says Jeremy's rent, February 2021. That's right. He lives there. He does, but I get paid for it. So, and he doesn't live there as a friend. I promise you that. Also, can we discuss his assertion to Phil that he was in high school on Academy at nights and Explorer? I smell poop emoji. Yes. So on Dr. Phil, he said, well, I was in the police Explorer. Or no, I was going through night school to be a police officer. At 18? No, you were in the Explorer program. That's not the police academy. Right? He's probably like, after school. That counts as night. That's no. It can fast track you into through the police hiring process. But it's not a police officer. Something he discovered when he tried to pretend to be a police officer when he couldn't pay for gas. He might have thought he was a police officer. Like, yeah, being a explorer makes me a police officer. Not that he sounds like that in any way. It's just I like doing voices. All right, we're gonna give him this one. I'm a police officer because I'm in an explorer program. So I'll be back. Right? He might have actually thought it. He learned that he wasn't. He also, I believe, got convicted of police impersonation in 2001. So he got a second time, if I remember correctly. So, you'd think he'd learn, but he doesn't. I don't know. Scoop.
Give him money or whatever. And he's lying to you about being on a national TV show.
But I wasn't. All right, hold on. I got some questions. Well, D is going to get blocked. No, you can get put in timeout because it's more fun because you get to stay here. Yeah, he's just saying mean things, which is fine. I've dealt with mean things for quite a while. In my career as a police officer, you get that a lot. The internet's not that bad. But I don't have to take it. I'm in a position of power here. Suck it.
that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me.
All right, you want to know why it doesn't make sense?
That...
Because he's got it all wrong. He's lying to you about an alleged lie that I never told. So he gets one of those.
National TV means it's every station throughout the United States, and I'm sure there's places that you can watch it overseas. I mean, it's going to be on some. They have a Dr. Phil YouTube channel. I mean, people across the world are going to be able to watch it. I mean, did he not realize that lying to you guys about not being on the show sooner or later that they were going to air it and it was going to show him on the show? You know, if anyone's really paying attention to the real world, even real world police in the very beginning, their first video.
Sorry, did you that whatever he did right there? I only laughed that long because I was trying to get it to pause, and I figured I should keep going until I pause. It doesn't matter. That's on me. No, I deflected because non-disclosure agreement. I couldn't talk about it until it aired or until 90 days after filming. If he had read the paperwork, which apparently he does not do, he would, I assume, also have seen that, assuming he got the same one that I did. I know. So you can get one of those right there.
Their first video, they even post, which that part where he posted it has been edited and cut out. But he
wait.
Which in the very beginning, their first video, they even post, which that part where he posted it has been edited and cut out.
What part? What?
Lying to you guys about not being on the show sooner or later that they were going to air it and it was going to show him on the show. You know, if anyone's really paying attention to real world, even real world police in the very beginning, their first video, they even post, which that part where he posted it has been edited and cut out.
Yes, they posted that video because real world was like, yes, you can use it. And it shows Jeremy acting a fool. I don't know where he's going with this.
But he even posts where he thinks it's wrong how the media was jumping on me and saying this and that about me.
Oh, is that right? Is that what he said? Well, we're going to find out. Aren't we, Jeremy?
When in fact, he even knew. He even says on his video in the little text down at the bottom in the little yellow box that he likes to use, where he even said, we even have proof that we know for a fact that the girl was at the bar and all that good stuff.
Did he? What? Now he's talking about his sexual assault, which I don't believe came up in the Dr. Phil thing. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, no. He's talking about the claims that the girl actually lived with him that he sexually assaulted. Not that she was at the bar. So Jeremy's story is that he believes she was 21 because she was at a bar and she had a wristband that allowed her to drink. On the Jeremy Dewitte case site, there is like a phone call or something where a woman claims to be the victim and says, no, I lived in the house. He knew who I was and how old I was at the time. Right? Now, I don't trust the Jeremy Dewitte case site because they've gotten some stuff wrong. But he's already cited them as a valid source. So is that not a valid source, Jeremy? Like, one or the other. I want to pick one.
Isn't that comical that then, because he knows the clicks are more important, and the hate that people have for me.
I love that he's like, clicks, oh, they're obsessed with the clicks, while he puts out these videos as if that's not the intent. Just a little food for thought there.
Is more profitable than telling the truth, even if it's a little bit of the truth. Lots of people turned him down. The only one that didn't was Blue Bacon, the one that supported us in the beginning. I wouldn't say support. That's a strong word. I would say something more along the lines of, more neutral, more.
Yes, I try to be neutral. I generally try to be neutral until you give me a very good reason not to be. Right? Neutral is the point. But you gave me so many reasons not to be. And it started working against you when you claimed to have been a soldier. Special Forces, Major, jumped in Fallujah. Your brother died in Afghanistan or something. I don't remember the exact details. Made a lot of claims that are false. You still have behind you, in your office, the flags of the things that you claim to be. Right? In your office, you have, and these are from your videos, Jeremy, you have the Army flag. You have the Special Forces flag. You have a police flag from Los Angeles, I think, which is weird that you'd have that flag when you're not in that state. I don't know, wherever the flag is, it's not from the state he's in, which is weird, right? Like, if you're going to claim, I only have those flags because I support them, why would it be from a different state, right? Why not support your local police? If you're going to claim, I only have the military flags because I support the military, don't you support the Navy? Don't you support the Marines or the Air Force? There's a Coast Guard flag, too, although they're not under the Department of Defense anymore. Do you support them? Why do you specifically have Special Forces flag unless you're trying to get people to think that you are Special Forces? That thing that you actually tell people that you are. The thing that we have video of you saying, like, oh, I was Special Forces, I jumped to Fallujah, I was a major for 12 years. We have that. That's in the same video where you told a police officer that you are a police officer. And then there's a separate interview with the police where you're like, no, I told her that was part of the Explorer program. No, you didn't. You didn't tell her that. You said, I am a police officer, or I was a police officer for, this area. Lies. Lies, lies, lies. So, anyway, I forget where I was going with that. That I was neutral and I was willing to help, just like I'm willing to help anybody. Like these First Amendment auditors that I am making videos about, I'm willing to help all of them. All of them. I am willing to help. Most of them refuse my help before I even make a video about them. I put out a comment saying this is what needs to be addressed. If they're super reasonable and be like, oh, cool, thanks. I'm like, hey, reach out to me at any point. If they're like, nah, screw you, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. You bootlicker. Blah. I'm like, all right, well, now I'm making a video about you because now you've proven that you're not worth my time. So I'm gonna put out some stuff. So, yes, was I willing to help Jeremy? I was, but he made it very clear he was not worthy of my help.
More metro neutral, I guess. I don't know. But
metro neutral.
Everything's it just brings it into light.
PJ. Well, I was Army. I don't support the Air Force. Fair enough. I like that. That's a good response. I appreciate that.
When you start lying, because you realize they're probably going to cut you out.
Tell us more about lying, Jeremy. Tell us more. Do you want to talk about lying about being a major for 12 years? You want to talk about the 2 convictions you have for lying about being a police officer? Do you want to talk about the lie that you were a police officer, that you said to a police officer on camera? Do you want to talk about the lie that you told, was it Jennifer, that you weren't recording her? Do you want to talk about the lie that you never got in your motorcycle to 100 miles an hour? Do you want to talk about the lie that you, oh gosh, there's so many of them. What's another good one? That you jumped to Fallujah? You want to talk about that lie? You're going to call me out for a lie that's not even a lie? It's just mere deflection because of a non-disclosure agreement? You want to talk about lying? Look at yourself. This is not me. Look inward. Home. Like, come on, dude.
Of the show. Hold on one second. I'm getting a call.
Yeah. You take that call. It's fine.
Anyways, enough about that. I'm back. So, wanted to talk.
Iceberg. I'm so sorry for making fun of your sexuality. I didn't realize you were metro neutral. I apologize. What kind of bathrooms do you use as a metro neutral person? Just curious. Let me know. I'll keep reading the comments while he's talking. Let me know.
Talk to you guys about something too. I mean, the other day while we were shooting that scene with my beautiful little daughter.
Oh, this scene where you turned your sirens on full blast next to her? Yeah, that's a good idea. Good thought. Yeah, I too think that you should blast sound at a, month-old child. Good idea. Well done. Now, I initially thought that, like, oh, he can't use sirens. He was on a private, it looked like a private street, right? Like a back lot. Parking lot, something like that. So his use of sirens is probably okay. But next to a child that young, no. Are you kidding me? Be a better person. Be a better parent. 3
fans just show up. I don't know where they came from. They just showed up, and we won't say any names or give any information. But one of them's actually from Jacksonville, and what he does for a living is some like NSA shit,
NSA, sweet,
it's not
bro.
He's not with the NSA, just something like that. He does.
Is he impersonating the NSA? I bet he would know someone who's impersonating the NSA. I bet he would.
A lot of stuff like that with the internet, and that's what he does for a living. And boy, I mean, he cross-referenced the train schedule and the train horn and found us from just the train. I mean, anyways, long story short, they showed up. They were so happy. We took some pictures with them. I think we're gonna get that out there.
Get my good side. Get my right there. Oh, is the camera blurry? I assume he blurred it himself. It's fine. But what is this?
Oh, I'm doing video.
Oh, okay. We're fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. We're good. It's fine. I want to make fun from that, but I've done that too. So it is funny. It is amusing. It is well done. But I am also guilty of that exact situation on both ends. So I can't make fun of him for that.
You got it, Bree?
You want to get on and hit one?
I'm good.
You sure?
I've been on a motorcycle before.
I've been on a motorcycle before, dude. I don't need to be on this one. It's fine.
This is pretty cool. Not gonna lie. You don't happen to have any like shirts or anything that we might be able to get on.
He wanted to buy a patch.
A patch.
I don't have any patches, but
Anything, I'll throw some money. I don't care. I know that Teespring stuff, they only get like a percentage. I'd rather honestly like.
Come on in. My daughter's in here though. The guys were like, man, we thought you were gonna be crazy.
I like that. Like, they tracked me down as if his business address wasn't publicly available. He's a registered sex offender. You can get that information very, very easily. You don't have to be in the NSA. And Irene, thank you so much. Jeremy does have fans, actually. I assume he has less than he pretends to. I think a lot of them are bought and paid for. Just a guess, just hazarding a guess, because if he's trying to make himself look good on the internet, that's a very easy way to do it. I have never done it personally. Have I looked into it? Yes, I have, but I've never done it. Real Loader says, next thing Jay will say is it wasn't him on Dr. Phil. I'm waiting for that. There's so much merchandise that I've been looking into making about the Dr. Phil thing. And one of the things is a picture of him with his face circle that says "not me" or something like that. But I don't think I can use any still images from the show. Let me know if this is a good idea. I do have a T-shirt idea where I say, where it says, I jumped to Fallujah and all I got was this lousy T-shirt, but with the lousy T-shirt part crossed out underneath, like written in is several felony charges. I thought that would be funny, but I don't know if you guys are my test audience for that. Let me know if you think that's a good idea.
And we were really worried, and my girlfriend was saying there's no way that any of this is not going to look weird.
Which girlfriend?
You're showing up. But no, we were happy to see him, happy to get to know him. Their guys are great. I say to you, and I'm sure that most of you have heard it before, the whole YouTube thing, the whole vlogging thing, I'm only doing this because it's the right thing to do to
I'm only doing this because it's the right thing to do. Yeah, the right thing to do to try to, get some support behind you. It's the right thing to do. Okay, bud, why don't you save the right thing for court? Just a thought. Oh, and just stop lying in these little vlogs of yours. Might be a good idea.
To kind of try to show the truth. The fact that there's fans, wow. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for accepting my money to give me likes on my YouTube channel. Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it because it's so... I'm like, wow, it's...
Kara, you're a genius. Yes, I'm going to make that shirt, and the proceeds are going to go to a Wounded Warriors charity in the name of Jeremy Dewitte. Absolutely. I like that. It's a good call. All profits from it. It's good thinking. Yeah. Robert Carley says, Blue, did Phil mention the MS badge looking like LAPD's? The LAPD would arrest Jeremy if they saw him with it. I don't actually remember if they did. I think he vaguely touched on it. I don't know if he went, that's our badge. What are you doing? He went over that looks like a police badge. I don't think they ever really called him out for how close it actually was to LAPD. So unfortunately, actually Madison's shirt. Yes. Oh man. Yeah. No, there's such great shirts that could be made.
It's interesting to me. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, not bad.
Contrary to what all the bullshit that's out there and all the assholes that want to talk fuck shit, I honestly didn't want anyone to know that I ran this business. I never have advertised.
I didn't want anyone to know I run this business, except for the fact that when all this started, I went to my local TV and was like, there's something weird going on. Didn't want people to know he ran this business. Okay, bud. Sure, that's believable.
I've never put it out there like that. I've never tried to explain it. I've always just ran it, and
Hey, you probably should have explained it and run it differently. Just a thought.
we worked off of word of mouth. Because we do funerals, funerals are...
Why don't you tell them about the charity rides that you do that you provide security for money? That's a video I'm going to be doing. I have a lot of great stuff for that. We're going to give you a little bit of information. Jeremy has been paid to provide security for multiple charity rides. I think he just posted a video of him doing a wedding. If any of my mods are in here and can download that video right now so I can check that, because I haven't seen that one. He's accepted money to do things that are not funeral escorts, which makes it security. There have been people who have confirmed to the police that they hired him thinking he was security, right? That was the point. Chance Scholl himself, the Department of Homeland Security guy that I called out, was like, well, I thought Jeremy was security, and I thought that he was a veteran, which is one of the reasons that we hired him. That's stolen valor, by the way. So, why don't we talk about that? The other things you do other than funerals, because they're on your website, Jeremy. That thing that I told you should probably fix like a year ago, that you do all these other things other than funeral escorts that you don't legally do. You do them, just not legally. Why don't we talk about that? Just a thought. Why don't you put out a video on your little vlog about that? Just a thought.
are a solemn, private moment for families.
Which is why he screams and hits cars. Solemn and private. Good job. That's something Dr. Phil called him out on, by the way. That's the moment where Jeremy was like, what if it was your wife, your lovely wife, who had died? And Dr. Phil looked like he wanted to punch Jeremy. Like, solemn, my right kneecap is the body part I'm going with in this one.
This isn't, some TV show where people are excited that they're doing a funeral. So I've never really tried to go that route and kind of make it cool. I never tried to advertise.
I don't try to make it cool. I just dress like a police officer to fill my fantasies that I can't actually have, because not only am I a convicted felon, I am also a sex offender. Yeah, it doesn't want it cool, though. That would be ridiculous.
I've always wanted to keep it kind of quiet and private.
Yeah, which is why he uses sirens and horns and yells very loudly at people. Try and keep quiet. Like, he's doing great.
Not until this did everything change. But
yeah, after you went to the media and said, I'm being harassed, after you were caught allegedly breaking the law. But that's not on you. You only went to the media. It's the media's fault for broadcasting it, right? That's crazy. That's how we all found out about it. I assume that's how real world police found out about it in the first place as well.
anyhow,
I don't know that for a fact, though.
Hope I talked you guys' ears off a little bit today. Hope you guys are...
What's he going to say? There's still like 10 minutes left. I talked your ears off. What's the rest going to be? I'm curious. Why am I stopping it? We should just keep watching it, right?
Excited about more videos coming out. The beeping's happening. Our tow truck just got done doing a tow, so he just got back to the office. But anyways, I hope you guys are
Yellow Toad. Yes, the allegedly thing comes from donut operators. I tried to be like, hey, let me in on the thing, but his moderator is like, we don't know who you are. Well, he didn't say that. It's like, we can't confirm you're actually Blue Bacon. I was like, so you would have? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was trying to get his attention because Donut's mustache is beautiful. I just want to stroke it. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I saw his stream. And it was fun.
enjoying this. I hope you guys liked the video with my daughter. And I don't know if y'all saw in the video, but she just kept making me laugh because she was smiling and giggling, and I was just... It just shows you how much authority I have on this street.
He does love having authority over people. We do know that.
Apparently. My own daughter thinks it's funny, and she's only going on 7 months. She's laughing at me. I guess the bluish purple lights is what made her stop her car.
You see that? You like that subtle shade he dropped there? Bluish purple. Not purple. Bluish purple. Now, what appears to be the case is he has blue lights. He has blue light covers. He has red light covers. But underneath the red light covers are yellow lights, and underneath the blue ones are red lights, which actually makes them flash amber and purple. But they show red and blue when they're turned off. That has been the assumption of why he's getting got on his whole thing, you know, with why he's like, it's red, it's blue. That's the assumption. I haven't seen them personally. I would love to check that, see if that actually is the case, but just a fun little thing. The thin purple line. I like that. Someone write that down for me later. Anyways.
Hope everyone's doing good. Hope you guys are keeping safe.
Vladut, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing this. Do I know he started the GoFundMe page? I do. I don't know how well it's doing. Does anyone know how well that GoFundMe page is doing? And Kara, I'm sorry, I missed yours. Do 2 shirts, Felicia 1 plus an LEO 1 for NLEOMF. Someone spell that acronym out for me, because I'm interested in that. So we're gonna keep going, but spell that acronym out for me, and I would love it if someone got back to me on how his GoFundMe is doing, if that information is available. Wait, it has his GoFundMe has $5. Where are all his fans that he bought and paid for? Gosh, I can't imagine they're not donating their own money to him. Ryan, thank you so much. Just want to match the Commanders for GoFundMe donation. Hey, I appreciate that. You're paying Jeremy's rent right now in this whole head of mine.
Things coming up soon, but I'm sure they'll get pushed back. At least I hope they do. I would really love to see my daughter's first birthday.
Wait. He's in the new. I'm sorry. I know I keep doing this. This is how I do my streams. It's terrible. Funny Lady says Blue Key's in a new video on Real World Police that he recorded, and he's telling Jennifer he knew the girl. It was his friend's kid, and she was like a niece to him. And he only hugged her a couple times. Well, I don't think he only hugged her a couple times based on the conviction. Now, it is a sealed report because she was underage. But I'm going to have to find that because that's going to be important. I'm about to do a video on the things that you didn't learn on Dr. Phil about Jeremy Dewitte, and that's one of them. So, National Law Enforcement Museum, Fallen Officers. Rennie, if you can write that down, because I think that's a great idea. The thin purple line shirt can be for that. The Fallujah one can be for the veterans charities. I am all about this. Great. I'm sorry. Let me just. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Thing. If it wasn't for Amir, I wouldn't even be able to see the things I have seen. She's got teeth coming in now. She's got little teeth coming in. So adorable. I'm indebted so deeply to Amir for those. If it wasn't for him, I would have never been able to experience any of those things. I would have missed her birth. I would have missed everything.
That is probably accurate. Amir seems to be good at what he does. And he's played a pretty good game of, he's run some good interference. Being like, no, this isn't how it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. And he's helped Jeremy out a lot. Amir is working the system very, very well. And I respect that. Am I happy about it? Well, I'm not unhappy because that's how the system works. Law is the law. If you can work within the system, great, good for you. However, I personally think it's only prolonging the inevitable. So I think Jeremy knows that too, which is why he's lashing out in videos like this, which I am responding to and having a lot of fun with. And I'm so glad you all get to be here with me watching all of this happen. So we're going to, I don't know, he seems to be wrapping it up. He still has 9 minutes to go. So we'll see.
about that, though. You guys, truly, if you ever get in trouble, that's the man. The man with the plan, the master plan. Anyhow, talk to you guys soon.
I hope so.
Probably we'll talk to you guys
reach out
after
to me,
the
Jeremy. You reach out to me. We'll talk. Oh, we'll have a conversation. Great. Cool.
Dr. Phil show airs. Again, I know there's things on there that will make me, I wouldn't say look bad.
I would. Now, Kathleen has a question. In my opinion, how long do I think Jeremy is going to get? I think he can get possibly like 10 years. He's not going to get the 85 or whatever it is. But I think he's going to get years. I think some things are going to be dismissed. I think he'll plea on some of them. Well, it might be too late for a plea. From what I understand, the plea deals that he's being offered, not good. Now, he might be getting different ones now because Stephen, I think it's Stephen, the guy who was the attorney, or not the attorney, the prosecutor, has stepped down or resigned. So he could be offered completely different plea deals now. I don't know. But I think he's going to get at least a decade. But probably only serve a few years, but have a long probation period. That would be my guess, but I've never been involved in that process legally. So it's just a guess. So unfortunately, I don't have a great answer for that.
But there would be some questionable information or things on there that would kind of make it look wrong. But again, that's what he's trying to do to kind of get to the bottom of the truth. Plus, you need ratings. You got to make it look worse than it is to a degree, and then show. Okay,
no. Everything you saw on that first episode is how it happened. He didn't do much to make, I don't think there was any, if much, post-production to make Jeremy look bad. There may be post-production. There was some audio added, some like music to make it more intense. There was a couple things like that, a little bit of editing around like the commercial breaks. But no, what you saw is basically how it happened. So I assumed Jeremy was going to claim. I have another video. Like I think Jeremy is saying that he did really well, so that he can claim later, oh, it's just edited to make me look bad. That's what Dr. Phil does. Now James has asked, would I do another interview conversation with JD? Yes, but I wouldn't be nice this time. Last time, he dictated what the questions would be. Like I ran the questions by him. I was like, all right, we're going to build rapport. I kind of want to have multiple conversations with him. I only had one. I had to cut it into multiple sections because I had issues with audio. It became very, very corrupt, and I had to recover it. And it was a very, very long process. I would have another one, but it would mostly be me calling him out for all the things I've never been able to call him out for in an interview or discussion or on Dr. Phil or anything. There would be a lot. It would probably open with me going, hey, bud, you want to explain your stolen valor? And I think he knows this. He would never have that conversation with me. He would never agree to it because that's my opening. I'm not playing games with him. I'm not, no. Everything that I was not allowed to say, I'm going to say it. And he knows this. He's not going to accept it. What? Carlos, you son of a gun. Thank you. I will try to keep up that good content. Thank you for your donation. It will help me do that. All right, what else has he got to say?
Truth at the end. I hope to God that they air the last thing that he said. Because I know the fucking haters of the United States and the world on this channel would
I'm sorry, what?
Lose it.
The haters of the United States would lose it? Why? I honestly don't know what the last thing Dr. Phil said was because my segment was over at that point. Why would the haters lose it? I'm very curious. I can't wait to find out, honestly.
When they hear Dr. Phil say his last things, I hope to God, inshallah, they don't cut that out. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah, inshallah means God willing. I'm not making fun of his religion by any means. It's just the weird way he said it. If it doesn't show up, he's just going to claim that it was cut out, even if it didn't happen. I have no idea. Jeremy donated the $5 to GoFundMe. He could have. I mean, I'm not putting him past him. I'm not saying he did, but we'll find out.
Because at that point, if they didn't cut it out, somebody that's been on TV for 20 years showing this kind of bullshit, somebody that's been on TV for 20 years getting to the bottom of the truth, and somebody for 20 years that's showing that there is things out there like police corruption and other things. Obviously, he doesn't do this police corruption, but there is police corruption out there.
What?
And somebody with his background and experience, when you hear what he has to say, God willing, inshallah, they don't cut it out.
I'm going to guess it doesn't exist. Just a thought. Because a lot of what Jeremy has already said happened on the show doesn't exist. It never happened. So, don't know what to tell you. I'm curious. Because maybe he goes, yeah, it's possible that they are, a corrupt police department is after you, Jeremy. We'll have to find out. Maybe he says that. That's not, oh yeah, cool, maybe they are. That doesn't mean that Jeremy does not appear to be committing crimes. We have it all on video. But, police corruption does exist, unfortunately. And I think it does need to be addressed. I think a lot of people don't know how to address it or how the law actually works. But yeah, no, there are issues. But I don't think Dr. Phil was playing that card at the end of the episode. Do I know? No, which is why I'm not manhandling this button.
Then you would have to stop and ask yourself, wait a minute, if he's saying that, then why isn't anyone else waking up? You don't have to like me, and I've made mistakes. God knows that. I have a whole special web page just for the mistakes that supposedly I've made. But as a lot of you have seen, I have a back of steel.
And a brain of concrete.
And no matter how much you knock me down, I will get the fuck back up.
Weebles wobble because they don't fall down.
And I will come out on top.
I don't want to say it, but you heard it here first. I can't. You heard it here first, folks. Jeremy is a top. No offense to anyone who is part of that community. I mean it with love and respect.
Even if I go somewhere and I lose my business, I can fucking promise you.
What can you promise me?
That if somebody starts a business such as mine, after I'm gone, I will find ways to make sure that laws are enforced and lawsuits are filed.
You mean like they're against you? Yes, I would agree. If anyone's behaving like you are, I would love to see that addressed in a similar manner. Because it's not you that I cared about initially. It was the laws you were breaking. Now I care a little about you. Now that I've learned more and I've interacted with you and you've made this video about me, calling me out, so I get to call you out. Yes, if someone else is doing the same thing as you, I hope they get got. And I hope that this is used as a practice run to make it easier to get them. That would be great.
That they won't survive.
I can only assume that another company is going to look at him and go, okay, guys, this is how we don't do it. Let's not be like him, right? If I said, I'm tempted to set up this company in Florida myself, once his goes under, if it goes under, and do it properly and appropriately, I'm going to use only purple lights. I'm going to not have a vehicle running up and down the outside lane. We're going to hold intersection appropriately. We're going to go slow. We're going to do it all professionally. Will I have a uniform? Yes. Will it be a police uniform? No. Will I use other police departments' insignia? Of course not. That would be dumb. I will have funeral escort clearly on my uniform. I won't have something that says, vehicle protection unit, because that indicates that it's a security company. I will tell people that I am not a police officer when they ask me if I'm a police officer. I won't call myself a state certified agency because that's nonsense, as Dr. Phil pointed out. I will say, we are a funeral escort company. If you do not leave this escort, if they enter the escort, I would say, if you do not enter, we will call the police and have you removed, right? We will press those charges. Now, we saw APR, Jeremy's former second command, do exactly that. APR released a video where he was like, we're making changes. We were talking, APR and myself. I was like, I think these are the things that need to change. This is when Jeremy was like first in prison. And APR did a great job, and he made those changes. And he relied on calling the police to address people who were entering his funeral escort. And then Jeremy came back and allegedly changed everything back to the way it was, which was what he was getting in trouble for. He's like, no, screw that. We don't need to make changes. It's absurd. If I ran that company, you better believe I'd know what I was doing. I've never run this company in my life. Nothing like this before. But if he can do it, how hard can it be? And unlike him, I actually know how the law works regarding this. So Kind of weird, but okay.
Being the fact that he's already lost 2 other lawsuits and money's really tight in as it is.
Hey, Carlos, thank you. Metro State Septic Tank Maintenance, that's his new company. Yeah, he can yell at that all day. That's not a problem. Are you impersonating a police officer? No. Why are you wearing the uniform? I know there are jokes I'm gonna make. I'm not gonna make the joke. Anyway, it's fine. I went down a road. I'm not willing to go all the way down it. My bad.
I'm sure
APR. Okay, wait, hold on. APR did become a jerk on the Facebook page, but that's because people were lashing out at him. I don't blame him for that. He made the video. He's like, "Look at the changes I'm making," and then people just lost it on him. Like he faced such extreme negativity that he turned away from me. He turned away from everybody else. He's like, "Nah, screw you guys. You're gonna be like that when I'm making appropriate changes and trying to do the right thing. Nah, screw you. Why even bother?" It was the backlash on the internet for being associated with Metro State that turned him away, which made it easier when Jeremy came back to reset everything. It's really easy to make someone take the side of something they wouldn't normally take the side of, when the side that they would take the side of is incredibly, incredibly negative. And that, I believe, is what happened. And it's very unfortunate. I don't blame APR for that. Do I agree with everything APR's ever done? Of course not. Do I appreciate that he was willing to make the changes? Absolutely. And I wish that people had respected him a little more on the internet. But he, good God, I read through those comments that he received, and he did not deserve them for the video he posted. So, yeah, it turned him away. And I think that's completely reasonable based on what he was facing.
Because I have much more money to be lucrative to move around. So, anyways,
Jeremy,
guys,
you've been trying to end this for like 5 minutes now. Okay, look, I can't actually. I do the same thing. So to be fair, I'm not going to call him out for that.
Hope to see you soon.
Maybe
we'll do something. Somebody was saying we should do a meet and greet. I don't really.
I'll
know
come
if
and meet
that's
you
a safe idea.
In prison, allegedly.
But we'll see. Motor One's moving.
Yeah, a meet and greet would not be a good idea. Jeremy should absolutely not do a meet and greet because oh boy, that's going to end poorly for him.
Hey guys, so we're going to do a bit of a reaction video for the entry or intro for the Dr. Phil show. I'm going to go ahead and watch it and give you my...
PJ, I'm glad you asked if there's any truth to Sergeant Viddler starting a comedian company. I have a video coming out on that. I don't believe so. So the idea is, well, Sergeant Viddler's, gosh, what was it? He's calling out the companies because he wants to be a part of them. He's going to be a part of like this specific one. He's trying to take down Jeremy, so there's no competition. Well, apparently, like Jeremy takes like a lot of funeral escorts other people don't want. So I don't think there really is that competition. In my mind, as an investigator, it makes sense that you'd be calling these companies to be like, hey, can you explain his actions? Are these reasonable? Do you guys do this? Right? Which I would assume the answer was no. That's absurd because Viddler went through those charges. Now, I did find, and I'm super excited to find this one because I've been looking into Viddler myself. I've been like, you know what? I should really, eyeball the other side of this. I found a video of him, and I say found as in I acquired, a video of Viddler pulling over and ticketing an individual who was working for the company that that Viddler is allegedly trying to work for, and ticketing him for impersonating a police officer, which was then pled down to obstructing traffic, right? So if he's trying to work for that company, that would be a very stupid move to make. So no, I don't think there is any truth to it. I think we can establish through pretty reasonable facts that no, that is absolutely not what is happening.
Reaction.
Jeremy is a funeral escort who wants to prove he is not impersonating a police officer.
Are you a cop? Don't worry about what...
We're going to fast forward to this because I don't want to get this video claimed. So...
Again, we're doing the reaction video to the Dr. Phil, and the first thing that they do is they show our motorcycles compared to a law enforcement motorcycle.
Yeah, and he says, these look a lot like a police motorcycle. Does it not? And you're like, no, it's a different brand and the lights are different. You think people are going to notice that driving 40 miles an hour from 50 feet away? I don't think so.
And it's funny because in the picture, it clearly shows on the one motorcycle red and blue lights, and it shows on our bike purple.
Yeah, but no one knows what purple lights are. They say, oh, flashing lights that aren't amber, right? Because amber means, you know, like construction vehicle or something like that. Purple lights, no one knows what the hell a purple light is. So, and yeah, should they? Sure. But you're going out of your way to look like a police bike. Dr. Phil absolutely calls you out on that. When you say, no, these are different bikes, you say, well, you know, they're different. And he went, you know, well, how do you know that if you're like coming up behind them at a high rate of speed? Dr. Phil was not buying that for a second.
And it says Metro State. And of course, our uniforms for Class A dress uniforms for military or firefighter, funeral escort, we wear our dress uniforms instead of our yellow shirts out of respect. But even the pictures are showing of a police motorcycle have red and blue lights. And then we're talking about the handcuffs, and it's interesting that he would bring up the handcuffs because, of course, a lot of our guys are security officers as well. We're not a...
No, Jeremy. No. He brought up you having handcuffs. That thing that you have. That's you. You are not security. In fact, it makes no sense why you'd have handcuffs because the handcuff pouch looks the same when it's closed with or without handcuffs. So, no, don't try to make this excuse. That's absurd. We're not buying it. You had handcuffs, not your security guys. Sure, I can understand them having handcuffs. Maybe, not really, but it makes more sense than you having handcuffs. You were the one who had handcuffs. You were the one who was seen in the video, arrested, with handcuffs on you. You were the one who claimed you didn't have handcuffs, and you were the one that had to pretend to act surprised when you called out for it. Everyone can prove this to be false, what you're saying. So you get one of these.
Security company by any means. But
hold on.
Security off. It's interesting that he would bring up the handcuffs because, of course, a lot of our guys are security officers as well. We're not a security company by any means.
He's not a security company. He only advertises himself as a security company by saying that he provides, you know, safe and secure escorts, that he does charity stuff, that he does weddings, that he has been hired to be security by multiple charity events, including one run by Chance Scholl, who has confirmed that they hired Jeremy because they thought not only was he a veteran, but he was a security company. His vehicles say vehicle protection unit, which implies security. No, but he's not a security company. That'd be ridiculous. Oh, wait, here's a fun thing. There are statements from the funeral homes that thought he was a security company. That's weird. They actually wrote statements saying, yes, we believed he was a security company and we paid him because of that belief. That's so crazy. It's almost like he's impersonating a security guard, which is actually falls under the same statute as impersonating a police officer. Gosh. Well, it's a good thing I have a video coming out about that later.
But our guys a lot of them are security officers at night, and they do funeral escorts during the day. So one of the things he says is, are you a cop? And I say, no, don't worry about what I am.
Yeah, you probably should have told him I'm not a cop. That should have been the first thing out of your mouth. Just a thought. And then you said, no, I'm a state certified agent, which Dr. Phil then called you out for, being like, that's not a real thing, dude. Wondering how he's going to spin this.
The word officer or agent doesn't mean you're impersonating.
No, it just makes someone believe that you are a member of law enforcement when you use those terms and you dress like a police officer and you act like a police officer, right? Although, yes, technically you could make that claim. The totality of the circumstances is what's going to get him. You put all of those things together, a reasonable person would believe that he is a police officer.
Now, if I say police officer or law enforcement agent...
Hold on, wait, pause. Hold on. Which one of you just donated? Lori, thank you so much. Wait, there's the foot pedal. Thank you so much.
Or federal agent, those are law enforcement terminologies that attach to the word agent. So you can split hairs all you want, but at the end of the day, nobody's saying they're a police officer. Nobody's saying...
No, they're just implying that they're a police officer, Jeremy.
They're a deputy sheriff. Nobody's saying that...
Oh, the hot dog vendor was a great line by Dr. Phil. Yes, Dr. Phil was having none of it. Whew.
Or FBI or DEA. We're saying we're Metro State. Make sure we don't resemble law enforcement.
Here's your motorcycle.
So, and again,
Police motorcycle.
We're talking about resembling law enforcement.
That thing that you do.
All of our purple lights are purple, not bluish purple.
Yeah, except you said bluish purple earlier. Maybe you're just making a joke. I don't know.
Bluish purple is a color that I'm not very aware of, but apparently in Florida charging affidavits, the words bluish purple was enough to make a judge believe that they were blue, not that they...
No, they were enough to make a judge think that a reasonable person would believe that they might be blue. The problem that has come up is that when you have amber and purple flashing, the wash of the light, not the lights themselves, but the light that they emit when combined, is very similar to the blue and red that you see, because it mixes in such a way that it's hard to tell us in, like, let's say at night. And I've seen videos of them at night, and yes, the illumination lights does appear to be a little bluish and reddish, and it would certainly make me stop and think, what the hell is that? And if I wasn't from Florida, a lot of people aren't, I would absolutely think that Florida's had some weird light scheme and that this was a police officer. I technically am a police officer with the military. I've had the training. I've had the local training here for like some of the stuff Washington gets. I've had the military training, the federal training. I have a lot more experience with a lot of different types of law enforcement and a lot of, agencies around the country than a lot of police officers would have, and certainly a lot more civilians would have. If I encountered these, before I knew what Jeremy Dewitte was, if I encountered them, I would have no idea what they were. I would assume they were police officers. So what do you think a civilian would think? Just a thought.
They were purple. So our vehicles are completely different than law
Oh, DSD, you're back. I'm going to meet you again. What's up? I'm going to put you in timeout.
enforcement. And when we...
Once you're unmuted, D, well, I'd love to know how much Jeremy has paid you to say that. I'm just curious, because I don't know where he's getting this money from.
We started this company, and when we started our vehicles, we started with black and white cars, which in California coast...
Hold on, wait, stop. Jeremy, shut up. I saw a comment that I really like. Also, Jeremy forgot some people have color blindness. I worked with an electrician who couldn't tell black from blue. Yeah. Color blindness, absolutely a legitimate concern. That's a very good point. If your stuff's even close, Now, is it a perfect thing? Because, a colorblind person wouldn't know blue or red. I mean, it's not a perfect argument, but it's definitely worth putting out there. I like that you brought that up.
Would be indicative of what they use. However, here in Florida and this side of the country, agencies use all white cars, all blue cars. Georgia uses silver and black. The cars are all one color with then designs and stripes. It hasn't been until just recently, which is funny. Actually, we were in business for 3 years before the Ocoee Police Department, which is a local agency here in Florida, Central Florida, actually went to black and white cars. We were already in business for 3 years running escorts before they went to black and white cars. And then followed behind them was Claremont, and followed behind them was Oakland, and so on.
And who was behind them?
So those agencies, they didn't have black and white cars, and nobody in Central Florida, where we work from coast to coast, from up to north, south, did they have black and white?
Yeah, but people still associate black and white with police, a thing that you knew. Otherwise, you wouldn't use the black and white. Because you're like, well, if they don't have black and white here, but it's still a police thing, so we're going to use it. So anyone who's ever dealt with a black and white police cruiser is going to be like, oh, is that a black and white? Is that a police cruiser? Just because it's not within the law does not mean a reasonable person would not believe it to be a police officer. I've seen people get convicted for impersonation for less than this. So I really don't think he has much of a chance here.
And our vehicles say Metro State.
Oh my God! Did you hold on? Blue Bacon likes lube. Did you seriously make another account just to say that, to keep repeating it, or are you a different person than Jeremy's paid? Hold on, Rennie, can you block him? Actually report it and then block it. That'd be greatly appreciated. We're gonna keep listening to Jeremy.
Again, our duty belts have handcuffs, mace, batons, and first aid kits and things of that nature, along with our pepper ball weapons. Nobody argues that we have those. We don't wear handcuffs on a regular. Those that do security, they wear their handcuffs, and they use them for what they use them for when they go to work at night. Other than that, we'll see what happens. Again, there's things that will be on the Dr. Phil show that aren't the best. Hey, but then there's
Yeah,
things that
all
are
of
pretty
it.
clear that we're not impersonating. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoy the show. Hope you guys see the difference, the light of day.
The ambers and purples.
We'll see. Other than that, Moto One's moving.
And that's the end. We're muting it. We're gonna. Someone's pointed out to me that the clip of him leaving his home and entering his home, like at the beginning and ends of these that often pop up, appear to be at the same time, which I think is hilarious. Because I mean, it would be easy. Just like, hey, we're gonna get video of you coming out and then video of you coming back, and it will be easy. But like the shadows haven't changed. Like, weird. Now I think he did hire someone to make some of his videos. I don't know that they're doing it anymore. Because the quality, like his first few videos were actually pretty decent quality for what he was trying to create. These ones, not so much. But I mean, that's it. That's all I got. We reacted to it, and we called him out on a bunch of things. We hit the buzzer a bunch of times. That guy right there. I love that thing. Oh my god. I wish you guys could see it light up. I don't know if you can. Wait. Hold on. Yeah, you can see it. It lights up. All right. Anyway, but you know the lighting, obviously. I got too many lights on me. Yes. One of your questions. This is the point, by the way, where I'm done. I'm just going to answer some questions. For those of you who like to complain that I just ramble on at the end of my videos, yes, that's the point. I'm answering questions. There is no structure anymore. Not that there ever was. I just wanted to watch that video and respond to you guys for the first time I saw it. I had not seen that. It's amazing. There's a lot that he's lied about. And there's a lot that is provably false. So what questions do we have? I'm reading your stuff off here. In case you're like, why is he looking over there? That's where your questions are for me. I'll just that. Hinga-dinga-deergan. Oh, for all of you who watch this, thank you so much for being here. I always love doing these live streams with you. I'm going to try to do more of them. For those of you who donated, you're incredible. Thank you so much. You are what keeps this channel going. If you're like, I want to get something out of my money, I do have a merchandise store on Etsy. If you Google Etsy and then Sergeant Blue Bacon, some stuff will pop up, including some truly horrific things. Like, oh, I still have it here. Including this pillow, which is just horrendous. And I know it's horrendous. I designed it to be horrendous. But that's a hetero state officer. It has nothing to do with Jeremy or Metro State. Why do you think that? It's a big old body pillow. On the other side, if that's too horrific for you, I do have this. If you want a pillow that only has this on it, I can make that happen. Let me know. Reach out to me. And JP Lane, of course, I want to do an EDM Metro State song with you. Of course I do. Obviously. Oh, God, Dino, yes, I would love to see the paper trail. SergeantBlueBacon@gmail.com. Of course. Yeah, no, AJ, he's claimed I've lied about Dr. Phil, but like even his claims of me lying like contradict themselves. It's very weird. TJ Hooker fans, obviously Space Dog. Rennie actually is old enough to appreciate. I'm just kidding, Rennie. I'm sorry. No, TJ Hooker's great. Did I notice Jeremy's lapel pin? I noticed it sitting across from him going, what the hell is that? I believe it's a thin blue line like flag. It's just like it's similar to the thin blue lines. Obviously, it's very like a diminished design of it, but it then has the flying wheel over it, which is like, bro, come on, what is that? But anyway, yeah, Rennie has a TJ Hooker patch. Jack can't believe that he was going to post the footage. I know. Am I going to make Class A and B shirts? If they weren't so expensive, I would be tempted to. I would. I'm about to make a. I'm planning. I'm not. I say I'm about to. I'm planning on making Blue Bacon patches with the little, with my symbols and stuff, and a challenge coin. I don't know which one I want to do first because it's expensive to buy in bulk. The stuff I have right now, like a different company makes them, and they make them as the orders come in, so I don't have to like buy a box of them and hope people buy them. But if you do, you are interested in a challenge coin or a patch, let me know, and I can definitely go forward with that plan, because I would love to do that. What am I missing? Just send him to Jeremy. I'd love to. He would just destroy it, though. It would be such a waste. What else we got? Oh, yeah, the video where it appears he committed insurance fraud and his wife is screaming. Yeah, that was super weird that he posted that. I think he thought it would make him look good. See, here's the thing. Jeremy's vehicles, I believe, are registered in his, or were registered in his wife's name, or her insurance. And they were registered as personal vehicles, not work vehicles. The vehicles of Metro State are work vehicles. There is no debate about this. I believe Viddler found out that they were registered inappropriately, called the insurance company and said, hey, are these registered appropriately? Which is fair. I've done similar things while being like, hey, I don't think this insurance is correct. We can call insurance companies. Police officers can. It's true. And they went, no, these can't be work vehicles. And they canceled the insurance because Jeremy was committing insurance fraud, allegedly. So, yes, people investigating it came to the house because Jeremy can't stop messing things up and think he can get away with it. So, I don't even know. But anyway, it's... Ugh. Oh, exciting news. I just got the Moderna COVID shot. So either it kills me or it doesn't. Thought you all should know. I got it in my right arm. So apparently it makes the right arm, or the arm it's in, very, very sore. So I don't know if I'll be able to use it to smack this button next time Jeremy posts a dumb video. Which could be any day, because he does it every day. Or many days. Any questions? Any more questions? Questions. Do I know how to 50-50 a hot dog? I know how to 50-50 the bun. The hot dog goes in. Even the cops were like, stop yelling. Yeah, it was very weird. She got very, very mad. Oh, email address, Dino, is Sergeant SGT, Sierra Golf Tango, bluebacon@gmail.com. I think it's my About Me page on my YouTube channel. If you guys want to reach out to me, that is a way to do it. I won't check all of them because I get a lot of them, but I will try. Also, Rennie has an email. She checks hers better than I do. Oh, that's weird. Are you seeing this distortion on my face with this microphone? Interesting. Anyway. See, Rennie's put it in there. There you go. What's my opinion of JD's GoFundMe? I assume GoFundMe. I mean, he's fine. He can do that. You can do GoFundMe for whatever reason you want. And I think he's not going to get anything out of it, or much out of it. Certainly not enough to make it worth it. It's fine. I'm not surprised that he's not getting much money, though, because I personally believe, and this is an opinion, not a fact, that he is buying a lot of his subscribers, that he is buying a lot of the comments on his channel. So, of course, all these supporters that he is, appears to be having, aren't going to be paying into his GoFundMe. So he's not going to, some, sure. Maybe, I'm sure he does have some supporters, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to do well. Why didn't, do I know how to 50-50 that button? Yes. Why didn't Dr. Phil bring up sex offender status or stolen valor? Because I believe Amir told him not to. It was part of the conditions of me appearing on the show. I had to sign a thing that I would not bring it up. I assume that went for everybody. And my guess is that Amir was the one who made that part of the conditions of Jeremy showing up. So, yeah. And I mean, good point. Also, Jeremy's subscribers aren't necessarily people who support him. They could be people looking for, the next fix. And, what's he going to do this time? So, I don't even know, man. Why is the Scottish flag on the button? Yes. It's actually an X for no. When it's not in all this bright lighting, it lights up. That's good, though. Scottish flag. Why is Jeremy trying so hard to use cop language? Because he wants to be a cop so bad. So he uses it. Makes him feel good about himself. That's a guess. That's an opinion, not actual fact. So when Dr. Phil asked why cops didn't like him, he didn't have to say No, he gave that story like, I think cops don't like me because I did impersonate a police officer in 1998. Like, I don't think that's the reason. Nobody's paying attention to a charge that is 22 years old, dude. Come on. Like, if cops don't like you, it's probably because of your sex offender status, if anything. So, but you can't bring that up because he didn't want to talk about it. It actually is an America's Got Talent button. You got me. You got me on that one. It is. That was the listing description. But it was the most fun one that I could find. So, you'd be snapping up Jeremy's house and you just like put away. No, I'd love to. I'm saving up for when Gary Ridgway's house goes on the market, the Green River Killer, which I'm still gonna do this summer. We're gonna try some shenanigans. When I have the vaccine, I'm not gonna care about who I'm with because I'm not gonna die probably from COVID. So that's still happening. I have like just a tiny bit more footage to start the GoFundMe for that because I'm gonna do my own GoFundMe and see what I can get out of it. So I can like rent things like ground penetrating radar. But there's one last bit of footage to get my GoFundMe video, and that's gonna be in a cemetery. But it's really cold out. So, and raining. Anyway. Yeah. I think that's all I got. Ask questions in the comments section. I'll try to answer them. I gotta get some food in my body. You know, because I'm a hungry boy. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Next time I do a stream is probably, unless Jeremy puts out another really stupid video. And I only say it's stupid because he tried to call me out, and look where that got him. You guys donated more during this live stream than Jeremy has gotten in his entire, however long his GoFundMe has been up. And I appreciate that immensely. And it is nice to know that I have you to support this channel. But I'm also not buying my subscribers, which I can't prove that he is doing, but strongly suspect. So, can I 50-50 a cake? I would love to. You want to split it? I'll get 50, you get 50. JP, we'll 50-50 a cake. But yeah, next stream I think I'm going to do another reaction thing to First Amendment Auditor, but I'm going to do it live. And there are going to be donation goals where if like we get to, I don't know, it's like $100, I'm just gonna say what I really feel because I like to control myself for the camera. How did I get the name Blue Bacon? Well, I was trying to think of names to call this channel. I know I said I was gonna stop, but good questions were being asked. And originally it was gonna be Cop Talk, just Cop Talk, you know. But that wasn't interesting. That was a boring name. No one wants to watch Cop Talk, right? Like Car Talk, sure. I used to hate Car Talk. Love it now. It's weird. Probably now that I have a car is the reason. My dad used to love it. We'd listen to it on road trips. I didn't get it, but I was also 8. So, and I thought, man, Cop Talk is too serious. I need something a little goofier. So I'm looking at like, what's a nickname for a police officer? What's a silly thing? And it just popped in my head, Blue Bacon. And I went, oh, that's genius. And I ran it by a bunch of my police friends. I'm like, what do you think? Do you think Blue Bacon would be a fun name? And they went, oh my God, dude. Chaw. They don't sound like that. But, yeah, no, you know. They thought it was hilarious. And yeah, no, Cop Talk would be more searchable than Blue Bacon. But, God, I love Blue Bacon so much more. And I just felt like it really personified me better. Cop Talk would be great for like a segment in the channel. But, you know, if I had like a real TV show or something, it would be called Cop Talk, probably, or something similar. It wouldn't be called Blue Bacon. But for something as ridiculous on the internet, I felt like it fit. Purple Bacon. You do it. I approve. Purple Bacon. The thin blue bacon. I could do something with that. I could do a thin blue bacon line. Is Jeremy aiming for a Starbucks sponsorship? It almost feels that way, doesn't it? He's obsessed with Starbucks. But... And now we're your Bacon Bits, which is another great thing, is I get to call you guys Bacon Bits as my subscribers and stuff. You're my Bacon Bits, which is, I don't know, you can do a lot more with Blue Bacon than you can with Cop Talk. I think is ultimately what led to that decision. There were just more opportunities for fun things regarding it. So make another channel named that. I could make a more serious channel where I actually interview people and all that. Organize an auditor event, then crash it. Don't tell me. I actually met up with Nasty Nathaniel the other day. We had a lot of fun. We were thinking about auditing a building together. He's a pretty respectful auditor and respected, I would like to think. He's not an idiot. He's not an asshole. I like the guy, the way he audits. He's a very nice person. We had some really great conversations. So yeah, if he's still around, I'd do one with him for sure. But I don't know. I don't think I'd want to go crash an auditor thing. I don't think I could handle being around that many of them. And again, I support auditing by all means when it's done appropriately. I just think a lot of the auditors in the community are absolute idiots. And I don't think you're an idiot for being an auditor, but many of them have proved themselves to be exactly that. So, that's it. How big is purple and amber? Anyway. Did Jeremy give off the crazy vibe, or did he seem so normal in person? He seemed very normal. He was very polite. The conversations we allegedly had are not true, the way he's telling them. He did ask me how my friend Viddler was doing. I said, I don't think he's my friend. He's never bought me a beer. Now, I've never met Viddler by any means, right? I live in Washington. Viddler, to my knowledge, is in Florida. He's never bought me a beer. That bastard. I'd let him, though. I'd be friends with him. But yeah, his account of our conversation is absolutely false. So, is he tall? No, he is not. He's not like short, but I was certainly taller than him. I'm also 6'1", though, so I'm taller than a lot of people. I'm not huge. I think 6'1" is a very respectable height. But he is taller than average, and he is not taller than average that I know of. So, is sociopaths are good at fooling others? I don't know. Well, could I call him a sociopath? I don't know if I'd go as far as to call him a sociopath, because I think he does understand how to, emote. But he manipulates for sure, which is why I call him a narcissist and compulsive liar. Not pathological, just compulsive. I think he definitely is a narcissist. I think he values himself much more highly than he should within the society. Not that he doesn't have value, but within a society, there is a limit to how much value you have and how much value you should place in your contribution to society based on your influence and actions within it. But question. Hold on. Question. James says you spoke with Amir. What about Dr. Phil? I didn't speak to Dr. Phil. I walked on stage. I said, all right, take off your mask. Right? They had a mask. Take off your mask. Don't go within 8 feet of Dr. Phil. Don't shake hands with anybody. There's your seat. Go. It was very get this all over with very quickly. I looked at Dr. Phil and went, okay. And they went, hey, this is the guy from YouTube. And Dr. Phil's like, okay. And then, boom, into it. Well, I think Jeremy said something, and we were right into it. There was a lot of stuff happening. It happened very quickly. Dr. Phil probably had no idea who I was. They just knew that someone with my credentials was going to be on. And then I answered a few questions and sat there and was amazed at what was happening in front of my very own 2 eyes. And I was not kicked off the stage. And that claim is absurd. So was Oprah there? No. The only other person in there was the staff and his wife. His wife actually smiled at me. So, we're practically besties, according to Jeremy, by his logic. Why didn't Jeremy wear the handcuffs during the interview? Right? Narcissistic personality disorder. That feels like it fits. Now, I'm not qualified to diagnose him with that. I'm pretty sure Dr. Phil actually called him out on that. Did he? I could be wrong about that. The producers were very excited that I said that, unprompted. They're like, what do you think about him? I went, well, I think he is a compulsive liar and a narcissist. I know I've said that before. They were very excited to hear me say that, though. So I think they already sort of had that in mind. I don't know. Do you think he'd have mid to high functioning autism or developmental disorder? Well, autism is more common than a lot of people think. And I think high functioning, sure. I think a lot of people have high functioning. I don't necessarily think that would make him a worse person if he was. I think his decision-making is woefully inadequate. But, I forgot I had the foot pedals for a second. But, could I confirm that is the case? No. Would I be surprised to find out that that was true? Not necessarily, no. I think there's something going on, and maybe it's how he was raised. Maybe it's the environment he was raised in, because his brother has similar issues in decision making, right? So there's got to be something going on. Either they were both exposed to the same environment, or they have the same genetic issues where they're predisposed to poor decision making or something, you know? Nature versus nurture, psychology 101. If any of you have ever taken that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Bacon Marathon one. How long have I been doing this? I started like, 3:20? I've been going for a while. Good God. Why are you all still here? How? Oh my God. 2 hours and 35 minutes? I say apply to Metro State. They could use people right now, I imagine. Yeah, I think I've said it before. I think Dewitte would make an excellent bouncer. I think that would be a fantastic job for him. I think he would fit that role very, very well. It's harder to get charged with impersonating a police officer. Well, it's not that hard. A bouncer's more likely to get charged with, like, assault for going too far. Why didn't you turn on the siren from Dr. Phil, right? Remove what? Rennie? What are we removing? I'm dreamy. Thanks, Kara. Oh, stop it, you. All right, Dino, I'll look for your email. Jay Pavilion, love to see you as a cop, so I can harass you with my camera and call you a pig. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I mentioned I was in the Army National Guard. What do your guard buddies think about you going on the Dr. Phil show? They're like, oh, that's very interesting. And then they move on with their lives, is basically what happens. They're like, wow, that's really cool. Anyway. Oh, yeah, Rennie. Yeah, that's way more so here. You can remove him. Go for it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, I wanted to feel bad for Dewitte initially, so to speak. It's fun. It's a fun name. But he's not willing to correct his mistakes. He's not. He's absolutely unwilling to budge from whatever he's doing now. And as I said before, I'm willing to help you the first time. If you reject my help, I have no business making a second attempt, and will absolutely call you out. Timothy? Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to... What do you guys... Do you think I should stream more often? I think I should stream more often. Let me know. Write a comment down in the comment section saying you do want more streams. Because I definitely want to do auditor streams where I talk about them more in depth. Is he hostile in person? He wasn't hostile to me. I assume that if you played your cards right, you get him pretty hostile. But he was not. Jeremy was perfectly reasonable to me. So, landlocked beach bum. Yeah, if he was a bouncer, he'd get tossed. Yeah, I think he'd probably mouth off to the wrong person. But no, Jeremy does not act like you see him on film, which is, he gives credence to his claims like, oh, they've edited the video so you only see the worst parts. I agree with that. I think that is absolutely true, that we're only seeing the worst parts because that's the only part that's really that interesting. That doesn't mean that didn't happen. It absolutely happened. Those crimes have still been committed. He still made the choice to engage in those activities. I'm fairly careful about how I behave myself because I always expect to be filmed. As a former police, I am a police officer, as someone who formerly enforced law, because I'm not in that position anymore within the military of actual law enforcement. I am still military police. But I was always expected to be on camera. And I always expected to act like anything I did while on duty would come back to bite me if it was bad or help me in a court of law. So I always expect to be filmed, and that hasn't gone away as a civilian, right? When I'm out in public, I expect to be filmed. When I was attacked by Antifa, that was caught on film by a security camera. And James... Is it true Jay Pavilion was there for the taping? Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. He was not. He wishes he was. And it would have been fun to have him there. Did we go out for lunch? I would have. We did not. I would have gone out for lunch and talked to him. Honestly. Someone donate $50.50 to his GoFundMe. I wouldn't say no to that. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. I'm not going to do it. But, yeah, Dewitte was successful in having his military claims not discussed on Dr. Phil. They didn't do it while I was there, unfortunately. But I'm making a video for the people who are just going to be discovering Dewitte on Dr. Phil, I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make it the first video on my channel saying the things you didn't learn. And you better believe that's going to be up there with proof. Whew. It's going to be great. So, yeah, he might have disconnected the sirens. I don't know. 50 cents. Any thoughts on Jennifer? Have you read the letter from her grandma to the judge? I have not read the letter. I'm not saying Jennifer's a bad person, but if she thinks it's a good idea to be around Jeremy, I do have some questions about either her taste in men or Jeremy's performance in the bedroom. I don't want an answer to the second one. So we're not going to go into detail about that. Good, Dino. I hope he does. Oh, I can't wait to read the letter from the grandma. Ooh. Yeah, he has claimed he can't disconnect the sirens, which seems wrong. Pretty sure it's possible. But I bet he uses handcuffs. Ooh, spicy. I like that. That's good. All right, for real though, I'm getting out of here. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so much for this delightful stream. I'm going to do more streams because I have the setup for it. I keep saying that. I keep being busy because COVID sucks and is unpredictable. But you're all fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Until the next time, be good.